Hello! My
Yes.
gosh! Wait.
デンジ、お前も好きだったろ。
何のつもりだ。
You.
Okay, now we may start. Hello.
Welcome to the second half.
Still made it.
Hello!
I just decided, I was like, I want to play my fancy clips, even though I don't nearly have as many clips as everyone else. Because I want to feel like I belong. And it was extended because Phill showed up at the absolute last minute. Hello, Phill.
That's right. I got caught in a rainstorm.
You did?
Nah, I just took a shower.
Okay. I
I
thought
mean,
so.
half right.
Yeah.
You don't leave the house.
Yeah,
don't go
exactly.
do
You don't have to
things.
leave
You
the
just
house to
live
have a
it-
shower.
You were
He just
in the
lives
shower.
in
and
the
you had a
shower.
thought. Yeah.
I'm
shower is
starting to
life.
think his studio is actually in his shower. It's just he has like the lights there to make it look like not a bathroom.
Phil
He's in
was
the
like,
shower right
gotta
now.
get, gotta get clean. Gotta get clean.
He is obsessively
That's how it is.
clean. That's how it is. Hello, chat. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Creative Block. Maybe I can try speaking into my mic today for once. Hopefully that helps. Welcome. I am here. Irene, aka Irene Draws, I'm here with Jake, Narwhal, and Phill. Pear. Apologies. And Phill Diaz. We're the Creative Block, and we're gonna bring you another an evening of discussing storytelling and comics. And today's topic is mythology.
Yes.
I do have a presentation. And we will be inviting on a special guest, Michael Oden. If you guys know him, he's big in mythology, and he has a couple of new books. So hopefully we can, we'll bring him on for the actual discussion on mythology, and I'm sure he'll be able to contribute some pertinent points. But before that, let's do our usual thing. Let's go around, talk to all the panelists, catch up with chat, and see how everyone's week is. Hello, Ellie, New Dungeoneer. I like that name. I've been seeing you around the chats. I like that.
What's up?
Spaceman, Alex VRB is here. How dare you? Yes. Snuggy wants to kick Phill.
Why? Because the popsicle?
Because the popsicle. Oh, what? Why would you do that on stream?
Popsicle.
Hey,
I
if you can't
I wish
hear,
I had a popsicle.
if you can't hear it, it's okay.
Yeah.
I got
As
popsicle
long as you can't
FOMO
hear it.
now.
When's the
I
last
got
time you had a
so
popsicle? It's pretty, popsicles are good.
You were just
Not
in
on
the shower,
stream.
though. You're
Yeah,
gonna
I actually
do
took this I was eating this in the shower.
popsicle in the shower.
The
That's a
name
good
changes.
combo.
I didn't know those because we're from History Channel. I bet they would be. I actually took someone else's meme that was similar, added my own music, cut it up, added more things. Like the cat thing is kind of like a Frankenstein version of something else on YouTube. I have no shame. Look it up. I don't care. But yeah, I'm proud of it. Nonetheless,
That's right. Most
Phill
people's
showers in the brain,
intros,
Narwhal in the river.
most people's intros are just stolen videos, anyways.
Yeah, I don't care. I'll steal all I want. Great art to steal. Job Styler, what's up? Hello, Snuggy
Yeah.
again. Michael Deecha. PowerPoint. Yes, we have all the PowerPoints. This is the PowerPoint show, didn't you know?
Power.
The power
have
of
a show?
pointing.
Shelby.
Phill brings the gambit energy.
Oh, I'm about to make my name for myself here. If you know, you know.
Is that his
Okay.
new? My name Jeff.
That's his
I
new.
don't
That's
think
his new
that's how
catchphrase.
he sounds. I don't think he talks like that.
He talks
He just-
exactly like that. Go see Deadpool. You guys haven't seen Deadpool yet?
Not yet.
Oh, we-
No.
God damn.
That was
it.
a good Channing Tatum impersonation. That was not a good Gambit impersonation.
They're
Yeah,
the same
that was
person,
like
so
a different Southern accent. That was the wrong Southern accent.
It's a good, charming Taint Man impression, Phil.
Is that his accent in the new Deadpool movie?
just watch it. Just watch the movie. Go see it.
Okay.
Instead of going to see The Crow, like I know you were going to see The Crow this weekend, Irene, go see Deadpool 3. Okay.
Why did you assume I was going to see The Crow? I want to see Deadpool.
Because you're a goth.
Don't
Keep
assume
into
her
the
Oh,
Crow.
yeah. Well, I keep hearing that the new one is shit, so I'm probably not going to see it. Because I
Well, we'll
trust
see.
my friends.
I was thinking
Mostly.
it would be good because so many people were saying it would suck.
Shitting on it.
But
Yeah, I might see it.
apparently it does suck, I guess.
If I see it, I'll wear my original Crow shirt.
You know, real quick about
You see
that
my
is
face.
there's movies that get remade, they can be fun for like, oh, like I wish The Crow would get remade every 30 years now. So it'd be like, oh, so this is what our society is about now. And you can see the way it changes.
That'll be history lessons in the future. Let's watch all
Yeah.
17 Crow remakes and you have
Yeah.
to give a report on how society changed.
Yeah, what serves a function like that is James Bond. Through the years, he changes. He's like, he's a
Yeah.
feminist now. Whatever. Blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
Oh, God. Yeah, I bet there are a lot of franchises like that. With all the remakes now, I think this whole era will be studying in history as a curiosity, to say the least.
It's like a barren wasteland of creativity, right?
Yeah, it's like a creative dark age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just announced they're doing a new Highlander with Henry Cavill. They're doing a new Running Man, a remake of the Running Man, with that guy from Top Gun, the new Top Gun Mavericks. Yeah, they're remaking everything.
It's the era of the remakes. Why make original stuff when you can just chop up old things and do a bad job but make money anyways? Why put in effort? But we're here making new stuff.
Yes.
Struggling.
You know,
Because who wants to-
real quick, one more thing on that too. Did anyone see Alien Romulus? Anyone here? Have you?
No.
Four?
No.
Three?
No.
I heard bad things of that too.
Yeah, I saw it and I was thinking I didn't like it, but I've been addicted to aliens ever since. I've been watching every alien movie and hours of YouTube content about aliens. And I was like, I think I might have actually liked it because it got me back into aliens. It's like, we're back, baby. Like, because I watched Covenant and the other one, the Ridley Scott one that went all weird. What's that one called? Prometheus. And I kind of hate those. They don't have any of like the LCD screen, like derelict space station clunk clunk, like all that kind of stuff, like clunk clunk clunk,
Yeah.
like walking down a hallway.
I know what
Like,
you're saying.
I need that. And Romulus gives it to you, and you're like, oh, Romulus, thank you for giving me the clunk clunk. You know, it might have some stupid moments, but they're all sort of forgivable-ish.
I heard it's okay, but what weirds me, I haven't really looked in depth into the reviews. It's just a little weird that everyone looks like they're 12. Like,
Yeah.
why is everyone so young now?
Well, everyone's 12 now.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's people will be a 20-year-old actor will look so much younger now than they did 30 years ago. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
because
I thought-
people need to start smoking again, smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
It's all the
Fucking
fluoride
Smoking
in
and-
water.
It is.
Smoking
no.
and drinking.
Soy.
Yeah. You
The
slightly
soy.
turn more and more Down syndrome the more fluoridated water you drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, the eyes spread apart. That's why the all the starlets now they get that Sid the Sloth eyes. You know.
Oh,
I don't know. I
gross.
think that's just some like fetish preference of some higher up in Hollywood. That's like
Fetish
I like
preference?
white girls.
There's some like executive in Hollywood that saw Ice Age and were like, oh my god, neuron activated, and from then on they're like, we must have more women that look like Sid the Sloth.
They're like
Yeah,
they're like
like
furries,
grasshoppers.
but they're really into hammerhead sharks. Is that what it is?
Furry hammerhead sharks, guys. Oh dear.
But
We
did
figured
everyone
it out.
did everyone see that tweet? I guess you saw the tweet of people finally being like, yeah, fluoride lowers your IQ points by like
Oh
3.
yeah,
No, I
I
didn't see
was
that
bummed
tweet.
about that. They said there's some fruit you could eat to take the fluoride out of your body.
You
So,
bummed
I
about it?
mean,
Did you
wait,
not
if you've
believe
been-
it before?
If you've been drinking
knew
it
that.
all your life, I feel like it's a little late.
Yeah, I'm
Well-
like I can't remember stuff, so maybe if I eat this fruit, that'll help.
Well, I heard that mouthwash is really bad for you as well. Like if you are a adamant user of mouthwash like daily when you brush your teeth, it destroys like the natural biome in your mouth and could lead to hypertension, high blood pressure, and ED. So,
Oh.
I
So
mean,
don't brush your
just
teeth,
even
guys.
brushing your teeth, in general is just really close to that. So I would say just don't bother doing that too.
don't make excuses, Jake.
You know who was saying that back in the day and got a bunch of crap
Great
for
idea.
it? Was Doug TenNapel. He's like, I don't brush my teeth and I don't wash my hands. I think he said. And people are like,
Oh.
Okay,
Everyone-
I overly wash my hands.
You're not supposed to say that out loud, Doug. You know?
You're supposed to just not wash them and be quiet about it and prepare food for people.
And then never get sick.
There is such a thing as overdoing those things, but I would still rather brush my teeth and wash my hands regularly. Thank you very much.
Well, it's even
I
during
would-
the old period when everyone was using hand sanitizer on their hands. They were basically just destroying the microbiome constantly all day.
Yeah.
It's like you need those germs, bro.
well,
Yeah, no.
and you know, there was like,
guys.
there was a tweet too. It's like everyone has microplastics and plastic in your testicles.
Balls.
Their balls, yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of there, and then they're like, "Here's what you got to do to get rid of that." And I saw another guy's tweet because they're like, "Because it causes cancer, so you got to get up early in the morning, get your REM sleep, and get your cycles, get the circadian rhythms, blah blah blah." And the other guy tweets out, he's like, "Guaranteed, being super pussy about plastic in your balls causes cancer." And I was like, "Yeah, that's kind of true." It's like just like these are the cards we've been dealt, and then like take it like a man. Like we're gonna do good in life with plastic in our balls and fluoride in our mouth, blah blah blah.
You just gotta cum. You gotta cum all the plastic out of your balls. That's the real way to get rid of it.
Right. You just become a gooner, right?
Yeah, you gooning out. That's the new
Gooner.
phrase. Got
gooner.
microplastics, gooning out.
Goon it out.
Oh my gosh. This
And that's-
discussion devolved quickly. Thanks, guys. Well done.
So I guess we're doing how was your week? Okay, I'll go first. A lot of gooning this week. A lot of microplastics in the balls I gotta get rid of.
Okay, okay, all right. Thank you for sharing. We didn't need to know. Right? Cool. Great.
I've started using them in my 3D printer. Goon 3D print.
Look at
this.
I got this. I'm just gonna
Is it a
save y'all
kimono?
from listening into Jake talking about gooning. It's no, it's a hoodie. It's a hoodie. It's got this like moon thing.
Why is it so
and
big?
It was because I'm little. Look, it's a moon thing. I actually didn't buy this myself. You would think that my gothy ass would buy dark moon stuff like this, but I actually don't have stuff like this. This is a gift from Tokamai, so thank you very much.
You have a moon thing?
A little big.
It's completely out of character.
It actually is. I'm not that into like moon shit. That's Jake's thing, guys. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
He, follows the moon cycle and shit.
It's interesting because it looks like it would fit Jake. So you can just...
It's big enough.
It's a fucking tent. But yeah, I kind of like it though, because it's black and white. So thank you, Tokamai. It's very comfy and it's keeps me warm because it's cold as shit in here. Other than that, I finally saw Spy Family, which was awesome and adorable.
Oh, yeah. What did you think of it?
Views in chat. It was awesome. Anya is my child. I want her to actually come live with me. The end. Yes.
Oh no! So you think you're now too because she drinks a lot of wine?
I mean, it's not like I completely identified with her. Girl that likes murder, goth stuff, and dresses in black and red.
Wears only black and reds.
Yeah.
For people in the chat that may not know, what is Spy Family?
It's an animu. It's an animumu. It's a this is Weebury Land. We are entering Weebury Land. Sorry, Mo Biggs, if you are watching.
It's Weeb Thursday. Where you're allowed to talk about it.
I thought it was out of
Cool. All right. Well, every day is Weeb Day for me, but yeah. So I finally watched it. And I rewatched Princess Mononoke too, my favorite movie pretty much ever, and it was awesome.
What's an
And I was very
anime?
happy.
I always fall asleep whenever I watch that film for some reason.
I've
It's
only
'cause
seen
it's
it
so
once, and
soothing.
it was on a small CRT TV playing off of a tape at a vegan restaurant downtown.
It's so good, but I mean, I
Bad
kind of do
memories, though.
understand. Miyazaki movies are very relaxing, but I love the themes of it. I saw it. I mean, it's not like the first. Everyone grew up on Totoro and Nausicaa in age. That was my Disney. Like, I didn't grow up as much on Disney as I did on Miyazaki. But Princess Mononoke just blew my fucking mind. It's one of the movies that made me decide to seriously be an artist, and then before Ghost in the Shell. So yeah, I love that shit. Made my
Isn't that
week. I
one
got to
with
rewatch
the?
it.
Isn't that the one with the character with like the red face tattoos on like her forehead and cheeks?
Yes, yes.
Maybe.
You see the influence. Yeah, if you have seen Princess Mononoke, you'll start understanding Fiendish a lot more. It's pretty
No,
straightforward. I'm not hiding this at all. I love
heard-
this movie.
I heard Spy Family's really good. My buddies were talking about it. Oh, and then Chad Townsend was reading the manga when I was out in Texas with him. He said he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, dude, this is freaking awesome."
Do you actually know anything about it, Phil? Do you want us to fill you in on Spy Family?
It's like totally spies, but they're a family.
That's exactly what it is.
But I don't know
100%
what
right.
Totally Spies is either.
Some French thing. But no, Phil, the dad is a spy, and for his mission to get info that'll save the world, he has to like make a family. So he adopts Anya, who's like this little kid who's a telepath, so she can read minds, and she uses that to pretend she's super smart. So he adopts her, and then he needs a wife. So he ends up with Yor, who's also like a kind of like desperately single. I guess modern day terminology would be hag tier. He's hag maxing with Yor basically. But yeah, so desperately single, super antisocial, drinks a lot of wine, wears a lot of black and red, likes death. The general rundown of that character. But yeah, it's so the fun thing about the show is it was made completely formulaically. The creator has no love for it at all. He basically constructed it with a perfect like scientific measuring of tropes with his editor. It's Shonen Jump, and yeah, he doesn't.
Really?
All these people. There's a lot of people that love it, but it's completely formulaic. Like he made it to be the most formulaic thing, and everything he did
That's
worked.
funny.
I like
That's
that.
actually hilarious. Well, that's the interesting thing about manga. It seems to be like there's no in between. Either the mangaka just absolutely loves what they do, and they're like, "Yeah, this is my dream since I was a child," like Oda, or they'll admit like, "Yeah, no, this is just a job." Like don't ask me the deeper meaning behind this. I just wanted to like draw some cool shit, and I just designed this with my editor and shit. Like Demon Slayer was kind of like that, where I forgot the creator's name, but she had a series before that failed, and she just constructed like the perfectly constructed fantasy shonen story with her editor to make sure that it had sales, and it succeeded, which is very interesting, because they still do a good job, but quite a lot of manga has that approach. Fair enough. Might as well.
So is that all your week was? You sat down and watched
Pretty
Spy
much.
Family every night?
Yeah.
Did you
The
finish
whole
it?
week.
Is it like a series, right? I assume.
I haven't finished it. No, I just watched a bit of it. Yeah, I mean, I still have work to do, so that's the only entertainment I had this week, but it was pretty good. Yeah, it's a good week. Yep.
Well, my week this week, finally watched Spy Family for the first time.
Oh!
No, I've already.
Liar.
I watched that show like when it first came out, and it gets crap. Like it's good for a bit, and then it kind of like goes off. It's like the episodes like weirdly some episodes end up with like 2 manga chapters put into one, and the pacing feels fucking weird. It's like a story ends in the middle of the episode and then another thing begins. The pacing gets really weird. But no, other than that, this week for me, I've been doing a lot of I've been inking that cover. I think last week I showed it on Phil's. I've been working on the cover for Carnal 1, and I want to physically ink it, but I just started digitally inking, and it got carried away. Now I just want to do both. I want to do a digital and inked version. And
yeah, you've been posting a lot of stuff that's awesome. Let's see that.
Yeah, the digital inks look good. I don't know why you're gonna redo that now in traditional inks.
I feel like I would do a better job physical, but they look, yeah. Look at this guy. Yes, Bancroft showed it off on his stream, and he didn't know who this was. This is a block. This is a giant block champion. He's a big block. He's a bloody block. He is. Henry Beamer says, "Looking cool." Thank you. But yeah, I mean, other than that, a lot of sleeping. Sometimes until 2 p.m. It's been great. It's been a great week of sleep for me.
That's good.
Yeah. Other than that, I haven't really done much. There was a story from last week that I didn't get to tell. So, last week, we're walking around in the street, and there was just a random dog.
Yeah. You go on a lot of walks?
Yeah, I went on a walk. I gotta get rid of all the blubberino, and you do it by going for walks. So I was on a walk.
Do people think you're a crackhead when you're walking on the street?
What?
Yeah.
That happens to me.
I think.
Wait,
one of us
why? Because of the haggardness.
One of us looks more like a crackhead than the other.
Yeah, where in my town there's crackheads everywhere, and they all walk. So if you're a walker, therefore you are a crackhead, or a biker. Even you can't bike or walk.
I didn't think crackheads could walk.
If you want to be like civilized, you have to have a car.
Well, because over there you can't walk anywhere because everything is a million miles away. In England, like the cinema's 2 miles away. Everything is like, no, wait, not 2 miles, 2 minutes. Everything's like 2 minutes away from where I live.
Because it's just a tiny little island, right?
Yeah, it's like a 10 foot by 10 foot island. Everyone stacked on top.
Do you ever get island fever?
But what is island fever?
It's where you're like, fuck, there's water all around me. What happens if the water level raises? We're all going to die.
Right, or like, oh, no, what if the island sinks?
Yeah.
I got to start talking to a coconut. Yeah. I got to talk to a beach ball
brain is a thing,
ASAP.
though. I have now decided that island brain is real.
Well, island brain is where people just have a massive belief in authority, right? That's going well.
Yeah, it's just... Yeah, I mean, I am convinced it's a thing because island societies have to be high trust to survive, especially in islands that are prone to natural disaster. So, I mean, I just noticed it with, like, Taiwan and it's, like, more conformist societies. It's not all across the board, but it's just my stupid theory that isn't founded on evidence other than anecdote.
Island brain is when you start talking in a Jamaican accent too.
Hey man,
hey man, we gotta trust each other, man.
Exactly.
Big ups to you, man.
So yeah, I walked up to this dog and started going, "What up, doggy? What are you doing in the street, man?"
And said,
I'm just walking around, man.
I'm just a crackhead, man. Yeah. What are you doing?
I'm just a fucking crackhead dog, man. And I realized I must be a crackhead because I was hearing a dog talk.
Right.
It was insane. So I decided it was just like the hedgehog thing that one time. I was like, we have to. This dog must be secured. And so, drove the dog all the way to a rescue place. And they wouldn't take it. They wouldn't take it. They were like, yeah, we don't take dogs. I'm like, what the fuck? But it just so happened there was a couple in the lobby of the place that I went to. Took the dog to, and they were like, "You doing anything with that dog? What are you doing with that dog?"
What?
And they were like, "What's the story with that dog?"
Did you sell the dog? You sold the dog.
Yeah, made a nice 500.
Nice.
Made a few hundred. Squiddly D's.
Off the dog you just picked off the street. You're like, yeah, it's totally mine for sale.
They wanted the dog. I needed money.
I
Way
seem
to
to
go with
recall
that
you
door.
saved an animal
Fair
last year too, Jake. So you saved one animal a year.
One animal per year. This time I got money out of it, so then I could. But the thing is, I used the money, go buy more crack. It had perfect structure to the whole experience.
Crack
So yeah, maybe I'd
Wow.
get more crack, find more dogs, sell them for more money, buy more crack. It can be an endless cycle, basically. So yeah, that was.
Wow.
So you're on the grind.
You're gonna be rich.
I'm dog maxing. I'm on that dog maxing grind.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
You guys are very bad.
You saw a dog, or you found a dog. My dad saw like a coyote out in the daylight the other day and sent me a picture. And then my girlfriend yesterday saw 3 foxes in someone's front yard playing around with each other.
No
Wild
way.
foxes.
In
Did you
Chicago.
Are
say-
you're in
Yeah.
the city though? What the
We're a little bit out of the city. Well, she
you
works
For a rescue?
she works in the suburbs, so it was over in the burbs.
Okay.
The burbs.
That's so weird. I just found out that Georgia has coyotes.
Oh yeah.
I mean-
I would assume so. They're everywhere.
I thought it
They're
was
everywhere.
a Midwestern and southern, like Texas kind of thing. But I guess I should know my ecology better.
I wonder
fo-
if they're in Florida. Like they might even be in Florida, but I don't know.
Probably.
Really? That's
The
so
fox thing was
crazy.
weird because I would think like foxes would be by the woods, but this was like right in someone's front yard. Like you could see their doorstep from where they were chilling. It was
They
crazy.
want the human food.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're so cool looking.
Yeah, they want to snatch your kids and snatch your wife. Let me catch a few super chats. May Romy, you're
Yo.
now May Romy, not Ma Romy, says,
The first one is
"Please don't know
you.
Yoshi." Yes, Jake's
You?
been learning Chinese.
And then
Very
I think
impressive.
I know
Tiny
what the
bastard.
middle one with the back with the like the Russian bee is, but I forget what it is. And I think I remember the second from last one, but I kind of forget what that is
Oh yeah.
too.
I see
It looks like
Russian bee.
it's like a guy presenting something. So I can't remember what it is. It looks like a guy holding his arm over the top of a beehive, but fuck. You know, it's very hard to remember.
They
what
are
it means, so-
pictograms. So the key to memorizing Chinese characters is to realize that they are pictograms and make up little scenarios in their head of what the lines look like, because they're essentially drawings that have
Yeah,
been formalized.
the
over
second
time.
character is Donald Duck. The second character in that sentence is Donald Duck. Look at him! He's got his little hat
That's
on the back.
funny.
He has his massive beak with his tongue sticking out and his little sailor outfit.
Second from last is yo. That means hat.
Yo.
Yes,
Means
yo.
what?
The middle character with the Russian B is na. It's like
Yo,
nama.
yo, ma.
Nama means that or so.
Okay.
So yeah.
What's Donald
Thanks,
Duck mean?
Romy. Wah, 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 wah,
No, it's that one.
wah. Did I answer your question? I think that was a cogent response. Angela Curry for 5. Thank you so much for the super chat. Hey, you blockheads. Jake, are you now identifying as a ginger? It looks nice. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, the dog I rescued put a curse on me for selling it for $500. Now I'm slowly, my hair is going from covert blonde to overt ginger. It's definitely
Is
what you're
it?
seeing right now, Angela.
I feel like it just looks the same.
It's those pink donuts behind you. They pull out the gingerness of the hair.
Angela, take your
Yeah.
red sunglasses off. All right.
It's not ginger.
Take your crazy pills, Angela. The voices are returning.
In some lighting, your hair has looked a little red, but not right now. Yeah, it's kind of fuzzling. Thank you for the super chat. The Lord Otter for $5 as well. Thank you very much for the super chat. Lord Otter says, "Hey, friends, I'm just stopping by to say that you guys are rocking it. Keep on fighting the good fight, and God bless." Well, thank you very much. We
Lord
will
Otter.
indeed
What's up?
continue fighting the good fight, and same to you. Same to you. Keep
Oh,
rocking.
Lord Otter.
Thank you very much. Angela
Just
says
reminded me
you're
of the
blonde.
autism. Yeah, like as a little kid, I was one of those people where as a kid, it's like fully bleach blonde looking, and then as the sorrow builds, as the dark clouds form, as the as the years pass by, it slowly darkens. But yeah, it is technically blonde, even though it looks brown.
As the okay, so when if you're a blonde as a kid and you grow up and you're not anymore, does it still count?
Yes.
Because I hear a lot of people saying, I'm actually a blonde, but they have like full on brown hair as an adult, and I'm like,
what? Hear a lot of people saying that.
I would say Jake is a dirty blonde.
Oh yeah. DB.
Yeah, you're still a dark blonde now.
Yeah,
no,
DB.
I didn't know Caucasian hair changed color until about like 3 years ago. So it still happens when you grow up.
Fucking Caucasians with that evil hair.
Is that witch hair? It is
so evil. That's exactly what I said. That's kind of cool. You guys are colorful.
Cool little witch hair.
Real quick, guys, I started reading Tales Gets Trolled. Not on stream, just to myself. And it's pretty great. But the thing about it, too, that I've been enjoying is that it's, like, kind of addictive, but it's not, quote-unquote, well-written, I don't think. But, like, you kind of get bored because nothing happens, so you quit reading. But then you want to go back and read the next day. So I was like, what is this magic alchemy of storytelling that he's doing? And I'm studying its moves a little bit.
All right. Snuggie gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much. And congrats to everyone who nabbed those memberships. Go grab those right now. Bancross said he was 1 until 5. Oh, amazing.
15. I guess you held on.
10.
He held on to his blonde privilege for a bit longer than me then.
Yeah. That privilege card that you get.
How long is Tales Gets Trolled?
I got a feeling it's like hundreds and hundreds of pages, but I don't know. But it starts in Tales Gets Trolled, and they just call them the like FAGGOT. They use that word a lot, and so it's kind of funny. You're like, oh, dude, they're using like old language from the old days. That's crazy. And
he just carries around a pile of sticks all day.
Yeah,
until the old days.
Yeah. Tails like cries and runs back to Sonic, and then it's Sonic and Shadow. So this part of the story is like pretty funny because Sonic's like, no, that's not how you do with trolls. You got to show them friendship and love and turn them into your friends. That's how you defeat trolls. And Shadow's like, that's not how you do it. You got to troll them back even harder. And so they're like debating how to solve Tails' problem. And so Sonic is like, let me try mine first. So he goes back. And they start calling him gay, and he's like, "I'm not gay. I have a girlfriend."
What is this? A fan fiction or is this official?
No, Phil. It's an officially public Sonic novel.
Yeah,
does he?
It's all drawn in like Kid Pix style, but the art is kind of fun. I don't know. I enjoy the art, but yeah.
Yes, Phil. It is it is a weird internet fan fiction thing. Yeah, it's meme tier internet history.
Since we're on Narwhal anyways, how was your week? Was that your week? Just that?
Yeah, it's just I saw Alien Romulus, read some Tales Get Trolled. I think that's about it. And I've been obsessed with all the alien stuff. I love it. But I kind of feel like it's a waste, like to get addicted to alien stuff.
It is.
It feels like research for something that like I'm never gonna write an alien story, so I kind of like watching stuff that'll be inspirational for what I might try and do.
Aliens is dumb.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, you should be into Predator lore instead. Predator lore is way more interesting than alien lore.
No way, I'm really not a fan of Predator now. I just love aliens. I'm an alien purist.
Oh, Predator is so much cooler. When they're all like,
they have like a whole culture and everything.
I just don't like space.
Yeah, space.
Still has space prejudice.
Everyone's talking about Star Wars. I open up these streams and people are arguing about Star Wars, and I'm just like, Star Wars is dumb.
Why do you dislike
Star Wars? Is dumb, Phil.
It's overplayed. It's overrated.
It's really black.
Space is dark. Like I want to read a story about where like I could hear someone scream, you know, And
They're
if it's
usually
space,
in these things called spaceships. So
it just
You know what's a
that's
good-
one thing. They're in vehicles.
People take
normally.
small pockets of air into space that then allow them to transfer
Yes.
streams between each other.
Or science fiction takes place on these fantastical things called other planets. So usually you can hear them scream. And
Other
become
planets
sound.
aren't real.
Yeah, that's right.
that's another
it's all
thing.
a holographic projection. Earth is flat. The
That's
end.
true.
One dumb thing about Alien Romulus is they get attacked by the face huggers, and you're like, I guess one of them's gonna get caught because there has to be an alien at some point. And they like escape, and then one of them gets hit. I'm like, God, they just have to do it. Now there's gonna burst out of her chest. Well, and then like stuff, and then it bursts out of her chest. I'm like, this movie is
Yeah, why don't they switch it up? Like,
predictable.
it comes out of somewhere else or something, you know? Just switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, burst out of. They did that in Covenant. It burst out of a guy's back, but that was dumb too. It didn't make no sense. Gosh darn sense.
Womp womp.
You know that if those aliens are real, there'll be someone in that universe that would want to fuck them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's in the
true.
comic lore. In the comic lore, they get a lot more into like the hive and the culture of the aliens and stuff.
There would be some other kin that like wants to get captured by them and put in one of those like birthing rooms.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. In Romulus too, it after the alien bursts out of the chest, then it sheds its skin, grows really fast, becomes super deadly, it kills everyone. But they added another step in Romulus, and it kind of doesn't make sense. Also, it's weird. So it bursts out of the chest, sheds its skin, then it forms a vagina cocoon on the wall, and then after a while, it pops out of that vagina. So it had like a whole nother birth thing. So it double births. It bursts out of the chest, then out of the vagina cocoon. I'm like, you guys didn't need to add the vagina cocoon. That was too much. Yeah.
No.
It's just
They
such a
need
cool
more.
idea.
Yeah.
No, they need more. Okay, there should be maybe I'll do this. There should be a parody of the alien birthing rooms where like the process of them reproducing is like some weird fucking Rube Goldberg machine of reproduction.
Yeah.
Like it has to fire
that
out of
is
a
what-
pod into the wall
yeah.
vagina.
But that's what's so dumb is that's what Prometheus was. It's like you start with the black goo and then you creates this, and then if that gets impregnated, then it will pop out by the facehugger, then it will create this or whatever. And you're like, why did you guys? That's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be there's a queen, she lays eggs, they do the facehugger impregnates you, it bursts out of your chest. That's it.
Yeah, that sounds
Nice and
overly
simple.
complicated.
Yeah.
Nice and simple. That's already overly complicated itself.
Simple and
Thanks for
clean.
regaling us in all those details. I really, I enjoyed envisioning that. Oh, Bancroft said he sent books to someone called Strakowski. That's why I spelled it right. You actually did spell it right there, so well done.
Yeah, I've been
Maybe
getting
it will
tracking.
even reach me.
Shout outs to the Lucent. Excited.
Oh yeah.
It's on its way, people.
I'm getting mine soon.
Yeah, I'm getting mine too.
Fulfilling books.
Yeah,
yo.
thank you to Mel for fulfilling those books. Yeah,
Oh yeah, thanks, Mel. Well done.
Mel spelled it right. That's
And
right.
thanks Bancroft for buying bags that were too small. He couldn't fit the books in them.
Aww.
Did he?
Apparently, he
I didn't know
bought
that happened.
book bags that were too small. He couldn't fit them in.
Damn it.
Just
Hope
leave
he
it to
didn't bought them in
Mel.
bulk as
Leave it to
well.
Mel.
That would suck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
we
is
bought
it?
several thousand of them.
Oh my god.
Less
I
than
went
all,
to
yeah.
a convention last weekend.
Whoa.
Oh.
Chicago
go? Well,
Fan
which one?
Expo.
You tell them off, Phil.
Okay.
Tell
Yeah,
them
Chicago-
the
off.
end. Dead
I'm at this
tell
wonderful
us
convention.
what the con was about.
Chicago Fan Expo. It was packed. I just went as a patron. I was patronizing the convention with a couple buddies. I bought the ticket the day of. It was $72
The
to
bar.
attend the convention for one day for that Saturday.
That's
Ridiculous.
expensive.
Yeah,
That's too much money. You could have gone to like Universal instead.
Do you
yeah,
have that
it
much
was
money to pay that much money? Come on.
ridiculous. And then it was packed. It was like the most people waiting in celebrity lines I've seen at a convention. It was like the whole section was just celebrity lines, but they had a very big, kind of convoluted artist alley. It was more convoluted than last year's Fan Expo. I don't know. It used to be Wizard World, and Wizard World was like trash near the end for Artist Alley. And
by convoluted, do you mean like tchotchkes kind of? Or...
No, I'm saying like
It means everyone's table was in a wall vagina now.
Basically, dude, everyone like C2E2 and cons that do Artist Alleys well, even like Heroes Con was awesome. They had like a great grid system where you could just keep walking. But for some reason, Fan Expo, I don't know if it's because they have so many people wanting to table at the con, or they're just really unorganized. It seems like they have to, because there's so many people, just put it everywhere with no organization. So
everyone gets a bucket to shit in.
Well, okay. Did they not organize the signing lines and celebrities in a way that would alleviate packing and crowds? And
no, the celebrity area was totally separate, and that separation was done well. Just the Artist Alleys section was so like clustered, and it didn't allow for like a straight shot runway where you'd be like, oh, I'm going into this aisle, and then you walk all the way down and you see everyone in that aisle, and then you turn and zigzag to another one. They do this thing at Fan Expo where it's clusters, and I think it's bad for you as a creator, because someone could enter the Artist Alley section, take 2 steps, and then leave it at any point, because there's just clusters of tables. So they have too many exits, and then it makes it very chaotic as well when you're walking and all that mess. It's a big mess.
They should instead engineer it where there's like only a couple of ways in, and then when enough people have gone in, they start like moving tables across the exits, so they're trapped forever and have to walk around in circles for eternity, like a maze.
I like this.
Musical chairs, basically.
Then they should barricade all the doors and seal the windows and just keep them there until they give us money.
Yeah, give all the customers island brain and then sell to them.
Brilliant!
Welcome to Indie Island.
Yeah.
Indie Island.
But I bought some stuff. I saw friends and a bunch of creators and stuff, which is really cool. I saw a guy dressed as Gambit, and I took a picture with him. And that was let me pull that picture up. I got this kick-ass reprint of the first appearance of Gambit, covered by Kari Andrews. Freaking sweet. He's got this really awesome cartoony style, and it's like there's foil on it and shit. But like a little girl Storm, and then you got Gambit here. I really like his art style.
Storm is a little girl, and
yeah. So at this point of the comics, she was turned into a child by the villain Orphan Maker, and so she's like turned into a child and like abandoned in Louisiana, and then Gambit finds her, and so that's how they introduced Gambit. This was not a con exclusive. I think this was for a comic shop that was there.
Was that written by Kara Andrews too?
No, this is actually the original. This is X-Men 266, the first appearance of Gambit, written by Chris Claremont. Oh. And this is just a reprint with a new cover.
Oh.
Which I grabbed, which is pretty badass. And
Kara Andrews is famous for writing about Spider-Man radioactive jizz because it gives Mary Jane cancer and she dies.
Oh, yeah, cool. Is that in Spider-Man Reign?
Yeah.
I really want to read that. The sequel's out right now. And then, guys, I met Remy. If you want to pull this picture up, Irene. This is.
Wait, do you think if she managed to conceive, the spiders would be cancer-proof, though? The babies, I mean. She can put spiders. Sorry.
So we
what
were.
Brilliant ideas you have. Who's that?
This is Gambit.
Well, I
You
thought
guys need
the
to swap
it's
your
just
head on
somebody.
his costume. Yeah.
Well, that's me on the left.
Yes.
Oh.
And then that's,
That's you. Really, I
that's
couldn't
Gambit.
tell. Wow.
Yeah. Everyone was quoting Gambit the whole weekend. Lots of
Cool.
wooing in the background. You could hear the Cajun accents everywhere.
People saying like "mon ami."
Yeah, like woo, mon ami. Yeah, so that was fun. I got that print that was signed by the old school X-Men producer and director Larry Houston, I think his name is. And then I don't know for when Michael Oden comes on here, I just got Judex. So I got to
hell
read
yeah.
this.
Sweet.
Super excited.
Might
to
as
read
well
this.
send him the link because you're pulling that up.
Judex.
So
Yeah.
I will. Let's get Oden on here because we've
So I
talked
gotta
about
read
our
that.
week, but yeah,
Bits.
that's great.
And then I've also been reading the OG Trigun book. My buddy gave me
Cool.
all the collection
How's
of them.
that? Have you read
It's,
it before?
if you guys ever seen the 90s anime of Trigun, it literally starts in the same spot that the series starts because they were almost coming out in tandem to my knowledge, and so close that the anime actually diverts because they ran out of material. That I think Naito is the writer and creator of this. So they had to deviate and create their own Trigun material. That's why it's kind of they split the manga storyline and the anime storyline. But it's exactly how the show starts. So I've only read the first couple chapters.
Is there a Trigun anime that isn't terrible 3D?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, the first one from the 90s,
The 90s one, yeah.
is all traditionally
I
animated.
remember it being good, yeah.
Yeah, it's super fun, good, action packed, silly. If you like anime, you're gonna get that little chibi silliness to it. But yeah, then recent, I think like last year they did the CGI Netflix one, which I have not watched, and they made him look like a lesbian chick.
There's a thing in Trigun where the dude's pointing a 6-shooter at him, and he goes, he like pinches the rotating bullet 6-chamber thing.
The cylinder,
So yeah, so it can't rotate to fire. He's like pinching it, and the guy's like trying to pull the trigger. He's like, ah. I was like, that was cool.
Never pinch a man's chamber.
Yeah, the whole thing is Vash is this wanted deadly killer. He's got this big bounty on him, but his legend precedes him, and he's not that at all. Like he's a super pacifist. He doesn't kill anybody. Like the first chapter, these band of bounty hunters come and shoot up this bar that he's in, and Vash basically defeats him. He takes this toy gun from a kid that shoots suction cups, and he just makes them all look like fools and kicks their asses with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it gets deeper and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Wolfwood's the best.
I have unfortunate news. It looks like Oden can't make it.
Oh my god!
But
Oden, he passed last week too.
I know. Yup.
Judex
I know.
looks great,
Apparently,
though.
it's too late. I said we started at 10, but it's getting late. I understand. Anyways, shout out to the Embrace 2. Everybody go back that.
Go back it.
If we can get some links to that in the chat, please. Maybe we'll manage to get him on someday. Bummer, because I picked this week's topic, mythology, based on his specialty, because he likes ancient history and mythology. But, someday we'll manage to get this.
I'm looking forward to all the things Oden is now going to say about mythology with a special topic prepared for him.
Oh, well, then Shelby the link. Shelby, you want to come on?
Shelby.
We're now gonna have a free for all. Who should we bring on?
Is Shelby a mythology buff?
Emergency special guest.
Yeah, Shelby loves
knows about
mythology.
mythology. Is he a mythology enthusiast?
Yep.
We can still do it. We'll do a great job. I'm sure the presentation's
of course
fantastic.
Yeah, I love mythology.
Yeah, we have plenty to talk about. It will be, and I made a wonderful presentation, I think, maybe. Thank you for the link, Alex. Everyone go check out the Embrace 2. Regardless of whether I can make it. I understand he has a family, so shit happens. But yeah. Yo, Bancroft, I'll send you the link. Totally. Funny enough, I do have the Epic of Gilgamesh in my presentation, so that's perfect.
Ooh.
We need him.
Hop on whenever you can.
We need Gilgamesh Bancroft.
Gilgy.
Hell yeah. Actually, that's perfect. Bancroft certainly will know this topic, so let me get the link sent over to you. Sorry, guys, we're adaptable here. We got this. Michael, you now have the link. Hope you can join. Let's see. Get out your grading books. Time to grade another creative block presentation. Oh no! Well, I'm clearly going to get an A+, like all my other presentations, because I'm just so good at this.
We need to argue about the definition of the word mythology.
That's what's gonna happen. Like Jake will argue about the definition of mythology, and that'll be like an hour of the show. That's what's gonna happen.
Let's just shoot holes in the presentation until she has an aneurysm. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's what everyone is here for. I have learned that this show is just torture.
Is it going to be ornate? You just got your clip, the "How dare you" clip. That's what you need.
How dare you?
How dare you?
Thanks. I am in pain.
It's funny because I hate ornate stuff, and Irene actually really likes ornate stuff. So the whole thing is inverted.
Well, she would never admit that they're ornate, the things that she likes.
It's not
She
that
she would say they're decorative.
She's got ornate
Are
shame.
we really going over this again? Are we really? Really? The argument was never that I don't like ornateness or it didn't exist. That was not the argument, and we all know it. Is that a milkshake? No. I don't want to be fat. This is coffee.
Coffee. It's coffee.
Yeah.
It's pronounced covfefe.
Yo, Starbucks, all the white chicks in the chat, get ready. Today was the first day that Starbucks has pumpkin spice. All right,
oh, sick. Dude, I'm going to get one tomorrow. I'm going to run out and get it.
It suddenly started getting cold. It was like,
really?
It was still summer, and it's not like cold, but it's a little chilly at night now. And I was
here too, way across the country, same thing. And a few nights ago, we had a thunderstorm, an insane thunder and lightning storm, which is very rare around here. And it was kind of a lot of fun, but a little bit like, I try to remember, like, what is this like? This is crazy. How do the dogs feel? I hope dogs are okay.
I don't remember thunder.
That's really great that you
they're
did
probably
it on camera.
happy being sold to the people for crack.
Yeah.
What is that?
What, Jake? What are you drinking,
shake?
Jake? Oh no, that's his shake weight. He's trying to work out right now.
I'm drinking fucking that they changed that Swedish fish G Fuel to not taste exactly like Swedish fish. Now it's just called gummy fish or whatever. Or,
they dropped the license.
Yeah, they dropped the license. Now it tastes slightly different. The people online are like, tastes the same to me, and I'm like, no, it fucking doesn't. You're wrong. You fucking amateurs. You tourists. Taste bud tourists. That's what they are.
They put fluoride in it, probably.
No, this is the one that probably has lead in it.
That's so much better. Yeah, you definitely need more lead poisoning on top of what you already have.
Need more heavy metals in my bowls.
Yeah, if that's the cards you're dealt, Jake, then you deal with it and you take life
exactly.
as it is.
If I get heavy metal poisoning, so be it.
Yo, Marcus.
It's going to be in the 90s next week. Well, I don't know. It's approaching fall. I don't want to leave the cold, but hey, whatever. Pumpkin spice is cool. That's my white girl side coming out. Yeah, let me just pull up this presentation. Let's get started. Let's go. Woo! All right.
Oh, also, I put together the campaign for next week because we're launching our book next week. So I've been doing perks and images on there, and we did the trailer. We showed that off last week, and so that's another thing I've been doing this week.
Cool.
Awesome.
Getting ready.
You've been busy. All right.
There's a different energy fuel company that does Swedish fish flavored. Oh my god, Coyote.
Oh, that's probably why they dropped it. Ghost. Yeah, I that's the protein I use like for shakes and stuff. Ghost protein.
Wait, they're gonna have Swedish fish flavored protein powder?
Well, it's not probably not protein, it's probably like a pre-workout because they have Sour Patch Kids pre-workout as well. So that's probably why.
They've got entire multi-pack cans on Amazon of freaking Swedish fish.
Yeah,
I've never
and
met someone who's like into Swedish fish before.
yeah,
Swedish fish is such an amazing taste. It's so good.
I hate them.
Isn't Swedish fish a candy?
Yeah, it's just red
Yeah.
gummy.
It's delicious red gum.
It's not even like
Yeah,
a fruit flavor. It's like gelatin. That's the flavor.
Yeah.
They take all the
That's so
Swedish
weird.
people and they mix them with fish. And that's how you get the flavor.
Really? Wow! I didn't know that. That's
Well, you learn
cool.
something every day.
It's not great. Just
I
eat Sour Patch Kids. Sour
do.
Patch Kids are
All right.
here.
Hey, 656 is in the chat.
Yo,
Cheers. What's up? What up there? Thank you for joining us, and thank you for the link. Some person,
Look.
656 Comics, Border Mayhem. Hell yeah.
there was supposed to be a Gway Comics stream, and what happened? It was supposed to be tonight. I hit the notification button. I don't think I missed it. I blame B Rose.
You gotta blame
B-Rose,
yourself.
love your
Really
yourself.
only allowed to blame you.
Yes, it's all Phil's fault. All right. The value of mythology, guys. You guys ready for this? You guys ready
Yes.
for this amazing presentation? All right. So. Pardon me. Today we'll be talking about mythology, defining it and talking about its importance and all that other good jazz. So here you go. Here's my beautiful front page.
Oh,
So
we gotta
we'll start
get
out
before.
by
Oh, I was
what?
gonna say we gotta
What?
get. Go back one.
Oh my God! What?
It's in the PowerPoint.
We gotta guess. I'm gonna guess the value is $2. There we go. That's it. That's my terrible joke. Bye.
I'm moving on. I'm moving on.
Bye.
One's in the chat if I should kick Jake. So what is mythology? Let's start out by defining mythology, and again, this is just from sort of my perspective of trying to parse. I understand that mythology has a very broad term, but I'm trying to define it not in the sense of, well, is it a realistic story? Not in the sense of myth, as in, is it fiction or not? But mythology in relation to a specific type of storytelling, namely a type of storytelling that reflects an integral part of human psychology, usually in the form of either a precautionary tale or an aspirational tale, and a type of story that has layers of meaning deep beneath the surface level presentation of its story elements. So something that is deeper and touches on actual psychology and human universals beyond pure entertainment and pure escapism, which is also important, and we'll definitely cover that as well. None of this is negating the necessity for simple entertainment and escapism, but mythology is something deeper. It is the type of storytelling that lasts through the ages, stuff like the Epic of Gilgamesh, like we were talking about. How would you guys define mythology?
Yeah, I like your definition.
Yeah,
But
yours is
what
good.
even is the what is Gilgamesh? I don't even know. What is Gilgamesh? What
He's-
happens
You don't know Gilgamesh?
He's the first hero.
He's Superman, but of the past stories.
His
It's
like
basically the first hero's
ma-
journey story from ancient Mesopotamia.
his
It's supposed
his
to.
male lover dies on the staircase. And
He wasn't.
he weeps. He weeps with him in his arms.
No,
Okay.
it's supposed they don't they say it's the oldest story, but it's just the oldest story that we have a record of, and there's probably shit tons of stories before it to build up to
Oh,
it.
of course. Yeah.
There are older stories. I saw some YouTube video, because everything on YouTube is real, and you should believe it. That there are older stories and elements of stories that go way further back. But the Epic of Gilgamesh is the first recorded epic long form story that still survives, and it's from ancient Sumer. And there are elements of the flood myth within it that echoes throughout all these different stories across the world. So, which is very interesting.
They call him Gilgamesh
Welcome.
because he's
Thanks.
actually a mash of multiple
Here.
other stories.
Very funny. Bancroft, a resident Gilgamesh expert, why don't you tell us what
Gilgameshian.
is the Epic of Gilgamesh? Because somehow some people don't know.
Yeah, why does he
Bench.
cry so much?
Sit down. How many hours do we have?
I guess I have
well-
plenty of coffee, so go
Son?
ahead. We must educate people on mythology. Go.
It's the oldest surviving story that we have because it was all written. Well, it was all put onto clay tablets.
Oh.
I think it's 6,000 years old, and it follows
Nice.
the story of Gilgamesh, who was
Before
the
Jesus.
alleged king of Uruk. Uruk is a real place. Gilgamesh, maybe. They don't know. They can't know.
Well,
And it just and it's actually the precursor to a lot of later myths. Well, it's the first instance, for instance, of the Great Flood that we found, but that pops up all over the world in the Northern Hemisphere.
right.
And it's epic, bro.
Did he
It's
even
Gilgamesh.
wear? Did he even wear a? Did he tie an onion to his belt? Is that how old he is? Or is there?
I don't know
What?
That
about-
sounds
Yeah.
Stephen King-esque.
He wrestled a lion. He wore lion pelts. He was an evil king. He did the what is that, prima nocta? Nocta? What's that thing?
Yeah, when you bang the
betting the
Prima
bride.
donna.
He betted the wife, and sometimes he even betted the groom.
See, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy.
This is
Ooh,
what I'm talking
What a
about.
guy.
His
He was
lover
living
died.
life.
what a guy.
So epic.
Very progressive.
Very epic. Yeah, so the gods
Well-
had to. That's why the gods had to create an equal for him to sort of humble him.
Right.
What-
So
Oh,
the
that's
story
like-
is
now we're getting
about,
into like stuff that actually happens. Yeah.
Yeah, the story is about Gilgamesh, this king who is arrogant, who is very strong. It's about his humbling, essentially. He loses a friend, it's about dealing with grief, and he is confronted by mortality, and he goes on a journey to search for immortality, but ultimately fails and returns humbled and at peace with the idea of mortality. So
Yeah.
that is
Yeah, I don't
the
know if
general
he even,
premise of the
even
story.
learns much. I mean, I think it's implied he doesn't go back to his groom raping ways. It's implied.
Right. He
But-
doesn't become like a benevolent king, but
Yeah.
it's
No.
So it's a
it's
bad.
So,
implied
you know
he's
what?
supposed to have learned a little bit.
It sounds like it's basically Toy Story, but it's just
Well, no,
Did
Toy
Woody-
Story would be Gilgamesh without all the raping.
yeah.
No, that was the original
the
version of
raping
Toy
is the
Story
original.
before they cleaned it up.
Utnapishtim is the original Noah. He's the one who survived the flood with his
Oh.
wife.
Mm.
So he's the
Because Woody had a rule when there was a new toy, he got to spend the prima nocta with the new toy. That was a deleted scene.
But Buzz was the first
This is
person that
going way
fought
off.
back. The first toy
There's a
that fought back.
snake in my pants.
Buzz. Well, that's right. No, Buzz is Enkidu because the gods sent down. The gods had Enkidu made to be Buzz, to be Woody's equal. So, and then they butted heads and they hated each other at first and they fought, and then they grew to respect and love each other and they became strong
And they-
companions.
They eventually
You know-
consented.
What is that trope in anime? I don't know the name for. I know in Japanese there must be of a adversary that becomes like a rival friend, and then eventually because like the Bakugo kind of character that's very common
Yeah.
in anime.
A
This
frenemy?
Enkidu was the first. Yeah,
Good
the
trope.
frenemy trope.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not as common in Western stories, but Enkidu was the original anime frenemy. There you go. Boom.
Nice.
Presentation over.
Yeah,
You're
why is
welcome.
the no manga or anime adaptation of the Epic of Gilgamesh yet?
Because he
There
doesn't do
is.
anything.
Have you seen Fate Stay Night?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it's like not just about the Epic of Gilgamesh, but there is a Gilgamesh and there's an Enkidu, and they're popular characters.
What cool
Um,
thing did Gilgamesh do?
Phil, he already said he like rapes a lot of
We
women.
just spent 20
Yeah,
minutes.
no. What cool thing does he do?
Bill, you already said it.
I got you, Jay.
He like
Gilgamesh is part god. So I think his mother was a goddess.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So he was the strongest biggest man in the world, and no one could fight him. So no one could stand up to him essentially.
But he does fight.
He was an unparalleled hunter. He hunted the giant like beast thing with Enkidu in the forest. And you know, he found Utnapishtim, which is apparently a very difficult thing to do.
yeah.
Wait, I thought that was a person. Is that a place or a mountain or something?
Utnapishtim is a person.
It's a person.
You know,
he's the one who
I was
survived
thinking
the
of-
flood. He's the Noah.
I was thinking of like some other myths, and I was like, you know what's kind of interesting is there's American mythology, and that's only like 200 years old. So you can get mythology in less than 200 years.
John Henry,
like,
Steel Driving
Yeah,
Man.
John Henry and Babe the Big Blue Ox.
Yeah, Paul
And
Bunyan.
There's
Yeah.
Paul Bunyan.
Coyote has
Travels.
it. It's Humbaba.
Yeah, he
Oh,
killed
but that
Humbaba. Wait, I thought they shot him in that Ohio zoo.
I have the second Gilgamesh graphic novel here, but I can't find it. I don't know where I put it. It has
So-
that in.
With the American mythology, because it's so recent, can you imagine like you'd be in the West working on a railroad, and someone would be like, "You heard of John Henry? Well, just be like John Henry." And you're like, "Who's John Henry?" It's like, "Legends tell." And like, who? What legends? Like, well, me, but like you meet the guy who's like trying to start it.
Yeah. I read the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, I wonder if the Epic of Gilgamesh or stories like the Bhagavad Gita and the Mahabharata are older, because the Mahabharata is oral history and it goes way, 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 way back.
Yeah.
Well, the
Yep,
Sumerians are the oldest known civilization that had writing.
Right.
has
I think the
survived.
first one was written down.
Exactly. No one knows what came before other than what they left with their huts and structures, but they don't know anything about them other than that, because you know they either didn't write or they didn't write on clay.
You know that Noel's point about John Henry and like some guy starting it. It does make you think of like how mythology would have been formed, because like if they're supposed to be stories that kind of like connect to like an innate part of being a human, as if they like naturally arise, you would imagine that like you have all these people working on railroads all across this huge country. You probably would have had loads of similar things to John Henry arising at once, and maybe they coalesce and then eventually become John Henry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not just one guy that forms it. It probably arises out of the group consciousness. And
They fought gang wars over what to call him. People's like, his name's Smith Watkins. No, it's John Henry. I'll kill you.
it's
We're the
Hun-
Smithite. Or we're the
Yeah,
Henrite.
And none of their rail systems were ever allowed to connect, which is why you can't get a train to anywhere in the Americas, because all the John Henry regions are divided.
Yeah.
No, just because our railway is all fright and it's completely backwards and outdated. Good job, America.
We have a Australian mythos, though he was a real person, but there's a whole kind of, it's similar to the Wild West you have over there. We had bush rangers here, and we have Ned Kelly. But he was a real guy, and he became an icon because he covered himself in iron armor, so he could have shootouts with the cops and not die.
He's basically the first killdozer. Remember the killdozer guy?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. He's like he'd had enough, and he was like, "That's it."
He was like Iron Man early days.
Yeah.
Did he do
That's
Prima
what was
Noctra?
fucking
The
crazy.
Australian Iron Man, Ned Kelly. he made it in a cave with a box of scraps.
Well, that stuff is interesting because mythology doesn't necessarily have to be old. It just has to, like, America and Australia are all young cultures, but we have our mythology. I would say I have a bunch of examples that I pull up later, actually in the next slide, but I think some stories in the past 100 years are mythology. Like Star Wars is American mythology, and it's not old. It just reflects cultural values. I think that's all you need.
Have you heard of cargo cults?
Yeah,
No.
the ones that
No.
I just been really into the British royal family because it's like a soap opera, and I know, very American woman of me, but
Typical
like
women.
yeah, so it is. Hey, listen, I like my true crime. I like oogling at British royal family stuff. So there are these islands that worship. It was Prince Philip, right?
Prince Philip, yeah.
And
they
think
make
he's
modern
savior.
technology out of
their savior.
bamboo and stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
weird.
make like bamboo
what?
planes because and they worship him and all this kind of stuff.
Because the
And they're-
British family flew to all these islands and they'd never seen any of this light. They just assumed, a significantly advanced culture must be godlike, and they make like little bamboo radios and bamboo
cool.
flight towers and everything. Because the British came there and built that stuff and then left. And Prince Philip was like the man with all the medals and everything. So they worship him as a godlike character.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Uh-huh.
In the chat, they're saying Killdozer already is American mythology, and then Vaughn was like, "What about Chris Chan? Is Chris Chan mythology?"
No. Someone
No.
need.
Ugh.
I wish I could
Banish
mute
thy
Vaughn
name.
right now.
Well, wait a
Well, I
minute,
think-
because like incest, like that is a very
No, I don't
mythological
want to talk
thing.
about this.
That's true. That's very. That's very.
Can we-
Common.
Yeah.
Olympian.
Anyways,
like,
okay,
Mount
wait.
Olympics, you know?
But to take the CC subject away, like maybe a myth has to be something super cool that people actually like.
Yeah,
And then, like
again,
like
aspirational.
No. If you look at,
to be a moral story.
there's a bunch of Greek myths that are not aspirational. They're very.
Or
I mean,
precautionary.
yeah,
but
and I would
either
say that one's a
way,
precautionary one for sure. It's gonna be one.
it's
But Narwhal
it's
does have a
definitely a
good point.
precautionary tale. Don't be born autistic and don't have terrible parents that raise you like a.
They probably didn't have
There are plenty
autistic
of
people
people-
in ancient Greece.
Well, you saw 300, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
throw
The
them
one,
off the
the one
rock.
that went off the cliff. The cliff.
Chris Chan is what happens if Harry Potter didn't get taken away to be like the chosen one in a new school. He just grew up.
I know internet lore. I mean, I live on the internet. I just didn't grow up here. Oh,
Christian's Harry Potter. If Voldemort didn't give him the scar to lower his power level.
Okay, I'm moving on.
Is that what scar was from?
So, anyways, mythology. We've already kind of established a few things. Mythology doesn't need to be old. Necessarily, it just has to reflect moral values, and also it doesn't necessarily need to have gods and magic that classical mythology often does. And it also doesn't need to be grandiose and epic in scope. I felt like it's important to establish that because epic and mythologic are not synonymous. They just overlap often, but that's not necessarily the same. You can have a story that's very epic, but it's not mythological. It doesn't hit on those deep psychological levels. It doesn't have that deep meaning. It just has grand scope. And I can think of a few things like that, but I'm not going to name them because I'm trying to be polite. Yeah.
Yeah, epic
So moving on
means
to-
society wide, right? Like that's the qualifier for epic. If it deals with
I
the
think
whole
it's-
of the society.
I think it just meant like a really
ambiguous.
long narrative.
Vast.
Like a legendary...
Yeah, it's more ambiguous, like a long narrative or a lot of detailed world building. Essentially, I would define it as lots of world building, and you guys know I love world building, but that does not a deep substantial story make, right?
That now it just means epic, bro. You know?
Yeah. So
Yeah, like
is
scope.
Dumb and Dumber isn't an epic?
No.
There's a lot of world building.
It's like maybe.
Oh yeah. It's almost
Isn't Jason and the Argonauts just like a road trip movie?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not an epic. Yeah, I guess.
I have a question. You guys familiar with the Odyssey,
Yeah.
written by this one guy named Homer?
Yeah, another road
Oh,
trip
wasn't
movie.
written by him.
So what came first? And I may have posed this over the past years a couple times. The word Odyssey or the story, the Odyssey.
Definitely a story.
So the story, the Odyssey, is now a word that describes an epic story.
Yeah.
This
that would
stuff
make
happens
sense.
in
Without
linguistics all the
knowing,
time.
I would say yes.
The Odyssey is from
That's cool.
Odysseus. So
Right.
of course, the Odyssey came first.
Did he take the name of the character is Odysseus?
Yes.
Does Odysseus derive from the word Odyssey, or is it the other way around? Does Odyssey come from the name
It
Odysseus?
derives from the name Odysseus, yes. I think in Greek it's like Odysseia. It's like how in the Voluspa, it's you just add, it's like the story of the Volva, which is Norse
It would be
story.
It would be like if Dumb and Dumber was called the Jim Carreyus.
Yeah, it would be like, okay, I got this character Peter Parker, and the story he's in is Peter Parkius.
That's what a lot of stories. It's like the Voluspa, the Ramayana. Ramayana is about Rama. It's just like the story of this person, and now Odyssey as a word has come to mean a grand journey.
Lots of stories are named after the person that they're in. You don't have to add a Greek ending to it just because. You know.
No. Peter Parkius is real. The Mandela, the Mangler effect is taking hold. He was in the pantheon from the start.
Yeah.
It was always Peter Parkius, everyone.
There we go. Okay, thank you.
Very. That's very interesting. I love linguistic stuff. It's like how language will adapt to words that originally had a meaning, but it becomes synonymous with an action instead, like how Googling just means using a search engine, but we say Googling because it's the most popular search engine.
Yeah.
It's the same concept, I think.
Is that a colloquialism?
I suppose.
Is Googling a colloquialism?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose. Casimirius. Well, yeah, I don't think that fits my story, but thank you.
What came first, the colloquialism or the cloaca?
Right, the ear.
Okay, wait. Moving on. Once again,
that's the cochlea, Phill. Phil's got 2 cloaca on the side of his head. Bancroft's like, why did I come on this show?
Okay,
I came to talk about Gilgamesh.
I've watched the show before. I knew what I was getting into.
Yeah, he knew. He knows what happens here. So moving on, I have some examples of mythologic stories, and I tried to pick a range of stories that are both, clearly this is fairly modern, but I think the story of Pinocchio is mythologic. And there's a I saw, what was it? Was it Jordan Peterson did a breakdown of how it's similar to the biblical story of the whale, which I'm not that familiar with, but he broke it down in a way that's way more cogent than me, so go look that up.
Yeah,
but,
who gets swallowed by the whale?
Jonah.
Jonah, that's right. Jonah Park, right?
And so elements of that are reflected in
big whale.
No, not Jonah Park. Okay.
I thought you meant Jonah Hill.
I think it was one of the Jonas brothers.
That's right. It was Nick.
And he was searching for his other. He had to rescue his other brother from the belly of the whale.
I'm having so much fun, guys.
Classic.
I'm glad you're having fun.
Classic plot of the Jonas Brothers
Oh,
movie.
TC has it. It was Jonah Ark. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Jonah Ark.
My name is
Back in the
Jonas. I'm carrying
great.
the wind. You guys know that song?
I'm so glad.
No.
So glad we're doing this. Thanks, guys.
I'm so glad I could add to this discussion.
This is interesting because Pinocchio is an Italian serialized story that came out in the late 1800s. In Italy, it's a children's story.
He's one of the original Italian gods, where instead of Isius on the end, they put O.
Right, Pinocchio. And the first story actually ended with Pinocchio getting hanged by the cat and fox. And the publisher liked it, said it was such a hit that they forced the writer to do a second story.
To resurrect him.
Yeah, he hops off the noose, and then
Sweet, that's awesome.
the second one is with the whale, and Geppetto getting swallowed.
Doesn't him being
Interesting.
hung, isn't
I
that
did
like
not-
perfect circular structure? Because he starts off as a puppet, so he's being hung from strings at the start. Right.
Oh, all right.
Oh. Well, yeah, I can see why they changed it, because it ties into the theme of the story is, well, I would see it as reflecting growing up, like his process of becoming a real boy and going out into the world and going to the, trying to save his father from the whale in the belly of the beast. That's the story of a person growing up and becoming a different entity than your parent, breaking away, making mistakes, then coming back and having to save the parent, and then both coming to an understanding. That's what the story of Pinocchio actually reflects, and that's a human universal, and I think that's why it resonates so much. Same as the story of Jenna.
I thought it was about teaching you to avoid carnies.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
But wait, that's a surface level thing. But what is it actually saying underneath that? Like, we should
carnies.
definitely also avoid
Gypsies.
carnies. I agree.
Avoid carnies.
Yeah, they smell like cabbage, have small hands.
I do like
Ew.
cabbage though.
Yeah, definitely. There's a bunch of stuff, lots of layers to Pinocchio. Well, I mean, if you specifically look at the Disney telling of it, it's all, the Pleasure Island, which is, the warning of indulgence, and the Jordan Peterson video is really good. He goes in depth on it. Very, very awesome. This is probably like an hour and a half video, but he talks about it as well off of Pleasure Island. The place is so hellish that Pinocchio jumps off the island into the unknown of the water, and relating that to, in order to get away from addiction, you have to go deeper into chaos to get away from that. Really, really cool themes that he was uncovering in the Disney version of the story. And then of course saving the thematic idea of saving one's father, where to become the patriarch you have to save your patriarch,
Or kill.
yeah, or kill. Shakespearean.
What's Jiminy Cricket? Anything with him? What's his deal?
His conscience, I think.
Right, in the
conscience.
Disney film, they made him his conscience, and this was never in the original Italian story. Pinocchio was a shit in the original Italian story. Like, it was a children's story to show children not to be a-holes, and there's no Jiminy Cricket. They extrapolated that from just a random cricket that talks in the Pinocchio story, that Pinocchio is being like a little annoying brat, and the cricket's being like, hey, you should be nicer to your father. And then Pinocchio is messing around and he accidentally throws a hammer and it squashes the cricket and he kills it.
So in the Disney animated adaptation of The Lucent, the frog in the well is going to become Ella's conscience.
That's right.
More importantly, Ella will be played by Zendaya. So.
Nice.
Good luck.
God, no. No.
Either her or Melissa McCarthy.
I'll take Zendaya. Zendaya can actually act. It's not too bad.
Wait, you think Ella's going to be played by Zendaya?
She's a redhead.
That's the way of the world, isn't it?
She matches 1-to-1. I think it's a great pick.
She looks exactly like Ella.
Ginger style.
Yeah.
That's what that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. Moving on.
Wait. I do want to get back to the saving the father thing. Like, is the saving the father a metaphor for saving old knowledge from like the tradition of your family? Like, is it like if you're in a low point, you kind of like go back to traditional knowledge and trying to retrieve what's useful? Is that what it is? Like, what is the actual metaphor of saving the father when it comes to the belly of the whale?
Well, I think you could look added a few different ways. I like that. I think a lot of it too is like preserving tradition, but or change of guard, where you're now being the head of the family if you save the one that brought you up,
Mhm.
it's your nurturing for the one that nurtured you.
Makes sense. At least Chani in the original Duna wasn't a redhead. She was a redhead. She's supposed to be a redhead.
Oh my god.
Oh damn.
Ginger's eye.
Yep. Yep.
It never ends.
It never ends.
No.
Never ends. At least they had Jessica. And next, good on Pinocchio.
I love
That's the
Pinocchio.
point about saving the father.
I haven't seen Pinocchio since I was a kid. I don't think.
Dude.
I don't think I've ever seen it properly all the way through.
Dude, watch it.
There's a couple of good live actions, right? There was one that was terrible.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas as Pinocchio.
Well, right? Guillermo del Toro did an adaptation which I really want to see. And,
maybe that's
it's
what
been
I'm
forever
thinking.
since the good. Apparently, that's really good, and I'm sure it is because it's Guillermo. But it's been forever since I saw the Disney one. But Jordan Peterson's breakdown got me monoggin jogging about the deeper meaning. And you wonder, why do these stories resonate, right? Why do some Disney stories and modern Disney stories especially, they don't feel the same way? I think it's because they're not working on this level anymore. They don't understand story and myth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really good.
Just fucking depressing. Well, maybe it's based on the actual fairy tales, which are usually more depressing.
I think I saw it. I think he bases it in like around World War II, so there's like some fascist overlord stuff going on. It's definitely very much his own, and the animation's cool. I thought some of the story choices were just very far from the original Pinocchio.
Oh, yeah.
He made it his own for sure.
Neat.
Yep. All right. Dun dun dun. And next, of course, I bring up Star Wars.
What's this?
Yeah, what is this? I don't know. I've heard about some the star battles or something, space battles. Apparently, Americans really like this. I think this Star Wars, the original Star Wars, is American mythology, and it's on top of cultural stories like Johnny Appleseed and the stories of George Washington and the cherry tree, all the kind of stuff, which is also, those are more American founding myths. That's like ancient American myths. Ancient, I know, for America. Star Wars is not just American myth, but modern Western myth, and this ties into how mythology doesn't need to be fantasy. George Lucas described Star Wars as a fairy tale. I think what he meant was he was tapping into mythological roots of old stories, but the dressing was science fiction and it was futuristic. But the actual bones of the story was something more ancient. He was following the hero's journey very, very closely. And like every hero's journey, Star Wars is actually a roadmap for how we should approach challenges and in turn how we should approach life itself, to set out and face danger, overcome failure, not just defeat evil, but get back up after defeat, and return home a better person. And the human universals I see in this would be loss and hope. I think there's more to it, but those are two main things in Star Wars.
Star Wars, more like Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars has the scene
Phill.
where he like enters the cave, symbolically kills Vader, but then it sees that Vader is himself. That's like
I never got that when I was a kid. I couldn't understand.
Oh yeah, that was weird, huh?
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. What's up with this art though? Like Darth Vader has a hilt on his saber?
I don't know. I just pulled up the most high-res poster thing that looked good.
Looks like Vader's got 6 fingers on that hand. Some AI right there. Just kidding.
No, it's not. It's one of the original posters.
Yeah, but see, the saber has a hand guard hilt, right?
That Han Solo haircut looks like AI to me.
I think it's one of the original
posters. That Allen Guinness.
If it's AI, then shame on me. I don't think it is.
No, AI is fine. It's just funny. We can all like
Shame
we're
on
all
me.
paranoid.
Yeah, I don't care either. Wait, what happened to Jake? Jake dropped. Oh, he's back. Hello. Luke also saves his father. I'm sensing a thing. Good point. Yes.
Oh my god.
That's
true.
It's almost like that's a part of growth. That's part of the
Redemption.
message in a lot of coming of age stories, right?
But you know what's interesting about that too is I think I'm pretty sure that they didn't know, like Lucas didn't know that Vader was Luke's father when they made the first movie. They only figured that out when they started the second movie.
Can you? How do you know that though?
I read it somewhere, I guess, but I think it's true, and it's just like they didn't even think that they didn't look that deeply into the myth stuff. If they,
I just thought he ripped it
Yeah,
off.
originally it was called, he was a master of the Bogan, which was the dark side of the Force. It was called the Bogan Force.
That's
Yeah,
true.
they called
right?
it the Schwartz. You guys remember the Schwartz?
Oh, that was something else.
But
Is that-
with that? Oh, go on.
Was that Bogan thing true? Because
Yeah, they took that from the original treatment.
Oh wow!
There was a lot of funky stuff in that thing originally. Yeah.
Amazing.
That's weird. Why don't they have? They should have an alien race called the Bogan now. If they wanted to use it, why didn't they reincorporate it anywhere else?
The word has been tainted with thongs and VB and Ugg boot.
Yep.
What have you done?
You know, with the point about Darth not being Luke's father or whatever, like it kind of, you wonder if some of these mythological stuff, it can emerge by just being refined. Like your brain will naturally attach to the stuff that's mythological leaning because it's more appealing or more innately, like more innate in the mind. So if you refine stuff enough, maybe it can always end up bringing up mythological ideas. Even if you're not thinking about them actively, they can just emerge if you refine enough.
I do think that is true. Jake, also, you sound like you're in a tin can.
No!
Does he?
Yeah. To me, he does. Maybe I'm crazy and I'm hearing things. I thought George knew that Darth Vader was the father. He just didn't know Leia was a sister. Definitely didn't know Leia was a sister.
I don't know. I tend to agree with Narwhal. I think they were just sort of flying by the seat of their pants on the first one.
I want to fly by the seat of my pants and make a massive smash hit. Goddamn.
Well, yeah. When in doubt, make the bad
if you
guy
believe
the
the
good
stories,
guy's
it
father.
wouldn't have been a smash hit the way it was originally put together.
Yeah, you need to find lots of good people and get them to do it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Anybody want to do everything for me so I can just sit back and be lazy?
I know comics are not like that. Yeah, you got to freaking do it all yourself. How the hell do we do that? But yeah, just make that's like just make all your characters related. Not even joking. Everyone do it now.
Yeah, but then reveal it years from now.
Yeah.
Good point, Past Master. Yeah, I suppose that is true.
I'm gonna do that for Earthbound. I'm doing it right now in my head.
Everyone's
Done.
related.
Yeah.
Well,
Spaceman
a lot of people,
is WizKid's father.
a lot of people thought that, and still probably do think that that plot point was taken from the Jack Kirby's Fourth World, from Darkseid and Orion and Scott Free and the Allfather, you know,
and the Bogans.
but
I think that that's a much more universal thing than just modern day comic books. I think that goes all the way back. There's certain themes and tropes that are in Star Wars that have been around for thousands of years.
Yeah, like Zeus
for
and
sure.
Hercules.
Oh yeah, definitely. And this Jack Kirby was obviously a huge fan of Shakespeare and old myth storytelling. Like you just look at the characters he creates, like Desaad and Calabac, like he's pulling names directly from ancient or stories, dramatic comedies and tragedies. So it's all mixed up. into a new modern myth.
Hmm. Nothing original under the sun is about how you present it. That is totally okay. I wonder if there. I do think there's that's what tropes are. These are tried and proven story formulas, and I think there's a certain element to if you try to follow tropes, because we were talking about how a lot of anime is just structured to be successful, and it's like the creators aren't even into not anime, the mangas, but they're not might not even be into some deep meaning or telling some deeper story with it, but because if they follow tropes and follow what will be successful, they can have a successful story, and that does work. What works. But I wonder if mythology ties into these universals in the way of its tropes, and it's just presented in different ways in different cultural contexts over and over again, and somehow that people just don't get tired of it. These are the types of stories, the tropes that people will never get tired of, right?
Yeah, I think that's the case because they're supposed to sort of reflect things about us that is universal to all of us. The Star Trek does that a lot as well. That's why I really like Star Trek. And I like arguing with people who can't believe that anyone could be conservative and be a fan of Star Trek because they think it's because they superimpose their own sort of socialist ideas onto Star Trek without realizing no, it's a lot more universal than that. It's about human values and what we value and what we don't value and all that sort of stuff. It's interesting in a lot of myths. It's always dealing with a person or people who have some kind of special power. And if you've ever been around someone who is extremely skilled at something, say an Olympian, or maybe I don't know,
a Guinness World Record holder for flipping pancakes.
There you go. I remember being in a pool next to an Olympic swimmer, and he took off, and it was like a magic power. I've never seen anything like it. I was like, how is this even possible? It's like a god, and I didn't even think that someone could do that. I've been at skate ramps with these, world #1 bike riders, just like shooting up off these ramps, 15 feet in the air. I was like, this doesn't even seem real to me. So I understand.
You become your own Greek chorus. You go.
There's some people out there that just are special in their own way, and I think that's what this is all about. Like, some people are super strong, and some people are a beautiful woman, a woman that is just so stunning that everyone in the room just goes, "How is this even possible?"
They start. She causes car wrecks because they look at
exactly. Yeah. I think that's like, I think that's where that idea comes from, that these stories always seem to have this godlike people in them that are just so can do these things.
Well, I think that is a great point, and that I think that is one of the through lines of mythologic stories and these stories that resonate, and it's because they're, especially the hero's journey, and I will talk about what a female hero's journey is. I'm going to talk about Snow White, which comes up, which is very interesting because I don't think people understand that, because that's been destroyed in our modern culture, but there absolutely is a female hero's journey, and it's not the same as Star Wars, the male's hero's journey, but it is also active. It's just in a different way. It's all about teaching people how to behave with power, isn't it? It's about when you have power, how to regulate. When you have, whether it's physical power, when you have a superpower, in a fantastical story or in any story, that's you have a lightsaber, or you have like wind powers, or you're a son of a god, or you're Superman. Like, the story of Superman is mythological because he has near unlimited power, but the story is about temperance and how he uses it, and that's a guidebook for all of us and how to integrate our aggression and our animal side into society, and that's what we must teach people as aspirational, otherwise society falls apart. And the female side of that is how to act in, and I know, like, this is not contemporarily acceptable, but I don't fucking care. It's about how virtue and temperance is also female power and how that is aspirational from a female perspective. I'll talk about this when we get to Snow White. But yeah, I think it's about handling personal power and how to not do harm and do good instead.
Mm-hmm.
With great power comes great responsibility. Yeah, that's why that line resonates so much. I think that's what aspirational stories are about.
Mm-hmm.
Salty Irene. I'm a little salty. A little bit. I don't like stories being destroyed. Imagine that. Okay. Tale of Gilgamesh. Circling back around to this. Dun dun dun. We kind of already talked about it, but we can cover it once again. The tale of Gilgamesh is about an arrogant king learning to humble himself. Not really, like in retrospect, not really, but he goes on a journey. I think it's more the reader learns, it's more about this discussion of like mortality and humility, and I don't really know if Gilgamesh actually learns anything. But anyways,
he gets humbled in a more like the story humbles him.
Right.
He can't just do whatever he wants. Without consequence. I think that it's more about that. And it's also about everyone will die eventually.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, it's like, except for this one.
Right. Anapisham can't die. He faces the forces of death and fate. And I think that, like Pinocchio, reflect the universal journey to grow out of youthful arrogance and accept mortality, and that's why it can resonate with regular people, even though Gilgamesh is part god Sumerian king, and we're not part god Sumerian kings. But the essence of the story is understandable to everyone because we all understand grief and mortality.
Mm-hmm.
We're not Sumerian god kings yet. It could happen.
Bancroft is on his way to completing that journey.
Never say never.
I speak for myself. Correct. Apologies. I am not yet a Sumerian queen, but someday. And next, Snow White. All right. So I had to cover at least one female aspirational story, and I know this is topical because the Snow White movie just came out, the live action one. I have not seen it, but I've seen people's review of it. I'm assuming it sounds like it's clearly missing the point, especially having seen the actor interviews about how, well, we must do away with the prince and everything in love, which is silly because and what I have seen over the years is sort of people not understanding the story and breaking it down in a way that frames Snow White as, oh, she's just an object of affection and the prince is actually the protagonist. No. Snow White has always been the protagonist of her story because her kindness and humility, her ability to humble herself and to be kind to everyone, even these minor dwarves, even animals in nature. Her purity is active heroism in the framing of the story. And that's what gives her power. Nature itself bows at her feet. And that is the female aspirational myth, to be so actively virtuous that assassins stay their hands, nature itself bows at one's feet, and princely warriors slay jealous monsters on their behalf. So it is aspirational, and the human universals here are humility and virtue. And not understanding shit like this is why modern adaptations suck. The end.
You telling me that big, corporations don't understand subtleties of traditional storytelling?
They might not. Yeah, it's weird. I might be coming to this conclusion. My mind is blown. I don't think they get it. I have this weird tingling sense, and they just don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, no, they never did, but certain people within those corporations did, and then they all got kicked out.
Do you think all myths are for kids a little bit, or like meant for kids to watch also, kind of thing, or no?
I don't think so.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want my kid watching Gilgamesh cradling another man on a staircase, weeping.
Oh yeah.
What about taking that man on his wedding night?
No, I wouldn't want.
Well, see, that's like 80s children's stories. That's what we need to get back to. That's what I'm wondering. I want to do a
That's the
children's
harsh
story.
reality.
It's got to be like the horse drowning in the swamp and
Oh yeah, that was tight.
never. Yeah, like that kind of shit. Bring it back.
These used to be such
wait.
big, strong hands.
Wait, Jake,
That's
you
a
sound
harsh
really,
movie.
really quiet.
Yeah, Jake, your mic's trash now.
Yeah, you
I'm trying to
sound.
fix it because Irene said it was broken. So many hilarious jokes. But yeah, Buzz Lightyear never drowned in a mud puddle, so I guess that wasn't a good story after all.
Well, it wasn't mud.
Wait, what?
They were saying someone was saying that the horse died in real life. They couldn't get it out of the swamp and it died.
I'm sure it's dead now.
They probably just couldn't be bothered to get it out.
40 years.
Like, yeah, he's fine. Leave him in this. It'll give the
Yeah.
movie more authenticity. Well, the one thing I was going to say about Snow White, so it isn't just the female hero's journey to move in and form a polycule with a bunch of gnomes.
Oh my god.
Or like
Ugh.
Sleeping Beauty, it's to like close your eyes and pucker your lips.
It's 10 and get several thousand facials.
Yeah.
Is Snow White
It's
one of the
supposed to be timeless.
wait, what's the one Sleeping Beauty? Is that a female mythological story too then? Like, does that have
I think
a metaphor?
so. Yeah, it's similar to Snow White. Same with Cinderella.
Right,
It's
all those female stories are
Aspirational for female.
tales as old as time, and they still resonate because, and the moral of them is women hate women. All right,
Well,
put
I
two
mean,
women
is
together-
that not a universal truth though?
that's what I'm saying.
Some
You put two
bitches
women together.
fucking
One of them's going to
haters.
be jealous of the other one. The other one's going to try to be poisoning him with an apple, turn into a big dragon.
Bill, they didn't have hagmaxing
yeah.
back then. So all the over 30 women had no desirability. So all the stepmoms had to feed the poison apples to the younger women. Nowadays, we've evolved past that.
They had a term for it. They call it spinster.
No, we haven't.
I don't think we've evolved past that at all. Have you not seen all the women on social media?
There is nothing more absolutely torturous than jealous, underhanded women. Like, I swear to fucking God. Absolutely horrible.
Well, that's a good
Things
point,
don't change.
Michael, with like the social media and like the e-girls, or some would call e-thoughts. I would never say
Yeah,
that.
actually,
But,
yeah. Or,
that screen is the magic mirror, and them posting pictures of themselves is them asking
who's
for
the most
reassurance.
Beautiful of them all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
And the
funny.
likes that all you guys in the chat give
Get a
them.
load of Jordan Peterson over here. Phill
Cracking
Diaz,
this
everyone.
case wide open.
Phil,
Phil
the-
Peterson.
these are actually Black Mirror. These are actually old.
Oh
You know
my
what a
God.
screen? Do you know what a scrying mirror is? A scrying mirror is a
Scry-
medieval
scrying.
Brown
divination.
scrying. Jake.
Okay, fine. A scrying mirror. These are scrying mirrors that you look into your. It's not just the women looking into the magic mirror. It's people gazing into their own shadow. Like the algorithm of social media, whatever you give attention to, it comes back. And if you have no self-control about like curating your algorithm, people will be like, the For You tab sucks. It's like, yeah, because it's reflecting your shadow because you don't know how to control your eyeballs. But yeah, same thing. Scrying
You know,
mirror.
a few classics. You're like, oh, that like I guess Mean Girls is like mythological, and you know another one is what's the one with the girl who ate deadly nightshade and almost died recently in Britain? Alicia Silverstone.
Alicia Silverstone, Clueless.
No, Alicia Silverstone. What was her movie? Clueless. Yeah, Clueless.
Clueless is it's either Much Ado About Nothing,
Yeah.
or one other.
Oh,
I remember
it's
we
Emma.
were studying a Shakespeare play in high school, and we were like, "This is Clueless."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
1-to-1. And then we brought it to our teacher, and she's like, "Yeah, I know." And it was really funny when we found that out.
Yeah, he's did a few. Like The Taming of the Shrew is 10 Things I Hate About You. And they're great. I don't know. I don't know if she's all that. I don't. That feels like that could be one, but I don't know. That's a bit. It's all based on a bet. Maybe that's the
I don't know
Taming of
these
the Shrew
references.
too.
10 Things I Hate About Shrew.
Yeah,
Emma. Oh yeah, Emma was good.
yeah.
Enjoyed that.
That was Clueless was Emma.
Chris
There we go,
Fish
you
says
just
the
need-
female power fantasy
Emma?
is collecting an army of adoring minions. Yeah. Or
Emma's that film.
One Prince.
It's also a book. Emma.
Oh,
I
maybe
read the
that's
book
also based on
in
Shakespeare.
97 or something.
So is a secret to success taking an old mythological story and making the Clueless version?
Yes.
Yeah, Jane Austen.
All right, that's what we all got to do. We all got to make our characters related. And we got to put some Shakespeare in that bitch.
You, I think
We
you have a
cracked
super
the
chat,
code.
Irene. You missed one.
I was
Oh, yeah.
waiting for.
All right,
No,
no
I
problem.
haven't missed it. I haven't missed it. I
Okay.
haven't missed it. It's cool. Actually, I have a few. But I'm trying to let the discussion flow. But thank you.
Alright.
I mean, how dare you? Meow Roar Growl became a YouTube member. Thank you very much.
Yo, meow
Barb
Irene.
Rogers,
What's up?
Miss Solar Terror gifted 1 membership. Thank you, Barb Rogers. Hey y'all. And Ryan Blue Thunder for 20. Thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. Ryan says, looking forward to playing Black Myth Wukong after I build a new PC this weekend. I have heard that it's a very good game. I have a basic understanding of Sun Wukong, Monkey King, but looking forward to playing the video game. Yeah.
Let's not talk about the video game. Let's not talk about the game. Let's talk about PC building. Let's make Ryan list all of the parts that he's getting. What's the case? What is your process for building it? I was considering building a new computer. What's your case? What processor? What architecture you going
How many
for?
lights? How many lights?
Going for ATX, ITX? What size is it? What's your graphics card going to be? All much more important stories than talking about that.
Yeah, so video game. Yeah, you guys have been enjoying Wukong. Hear a lot of good things about this.
Have you guys heard the legend of the
seen it.
conversation hijacker? That's like ancient
Is
mythology.
that what you just did?
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
It's an aspirational tale of hijacking.
Yeah.
To hijack
Yeah,
conversations.
Wukong level 2 starts. Your guy just has arrows in him inexplicably. He's like dead, and this headless dude playing the Chinese guitar like and he's like doing throat singing. He walks up and he's like, "Looks like you're a sorry sack of bones right there. Didn't need to help you out, little buddy." And he's whoosh, all your arrows get pulled out, and you get up and you start following this headless musician, and like, but the whole level's like awesome, and then at the end you end up fighting this like super epic boss, and for the second half the boss is holding this giant clay head and he's trying to smash you with it and stuff, and you end up killing him, and then the musician goes, "Thanks, little buddy," and he like becomes a giant, picks up the clay head, puts it on his head.
That was his head? Yo,
yeah.
tight.
So you helped him get his head back. I was
That's
like,
fun.
dude, that was like the coolest shit I've ever seen.
Cool. Yeah, it sounds like I had been kind of tired of like all the Wukong. Okay, so it's like the story of Sun Wukong and Journey to the West. It's like the one Chinese mythology thing that people know about and that Chinese, culture does adaptations for, and it's so over adapted. It's like if there was all
the one
different like,
thing.
fairy tales in the West, but in like Chinese, I mean, there are other myths, but it's the most, by far the most well known is the Journey to the West, which is a book series from
I think it's because
it's
America-
so overdone.
I think it's because America's obsessed with monkeys, like large monkeys, monkey
That's
characters.
totally what it is. Well, it is.
That's what I think.
It is also
Marketable.
mythological. So the original story, apparently, the video game, from what I heard or from what you've said, Narwhal, it is about the origin story of Sun Wukong. But the actual book series, it has a huge front section that is his origin story. He had this like divine weird birth. He came out of a rock and shit. And then he joins, the actual part of the story is about him joining this troop that goes west. That's why it's called Journey Through the West, because India is the west to China, and they go to India to retrieve Buddhist scrolls. So they follow this monk with a bunch of like this pig and a gaggle of other weirdos, and it's this adventure story. It's like Lord of the Rings, but with a monk, and they're getting Buddhist scrolls, retrieving Buddhist scrolls instead of trying to destroy a ring, basically. And I think the character of Sun Wukong is relatable and mythic because he also has near unlimited power. He has this crazy weapon. He's super powerful. And the story over and over again is about him misbehaving and being punished by the gods, and then going through all these trials and learning to civilize himself. So that's the appeal of that character. It is overdone, but it is also a very relatable story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Ryan, you want to get the Cooler Master Encore 100 Max ITX SFF tower. It'll so an ATX motherboard. You can still get like an AMD 7 with it. You could probably get a motherboard that can get more than 64 gigabytes of RAM with that. But I'm gonna go on PC Pot Picker now for you. Sorry, that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, that's really what we're talking about now.
Donkey Kong, King Kong, Gorilla
takes
Grodd.
It's a small case, but it will take a full-size graphics card.
Yo, the shit that Sun Wukong does is nuts. Like, it's actually really fun to read all his antics and the crazy shit. It's like he's just bouncing around in heaven, pissing off all the spirits and gods, and it's pretty great. So,
Wukong?
I would say read them. Yeah.
Funky Kong.
I don't know what Funky Kong is. Yeah, the gods.
You guys know Monkey Magic?
Actually, control him.
Monkey Magic?
Wow. Why do we know Monkey Magic and none of you guys know Monkey Magic?
What is Monkey Magic?
I think it was made in Hong Kong. I could be completely wrong. But yeah, it's sort of like it's a Chinese myth stuff, and I just want to know if you guys had it there. But
No.
clearly don't. So
We have Monkey Ball.
no, it was like the character was called Monkey, and he had all his little troupe of other characters in it, and yeah, it was all based on I think Chinese mythos sort of stuff, but I could be completely wrong about that. It used to air here in the 80s and 90s.
I guess we're talking about computers now. Ryan Bluth on it for $5. Thank you very much for a super chat. Oh, it's a bit insane. Ryzen 9. I'm not reading all this, Jake. You're like.
Yeah, okay. He's going for a Ryzen 9 9950X, cool, Gigabyte RTX 4080. Okay. Wait, how old is that? Is that a new like?
Arrow, White Bill, Corsair, Dominator, Titanium, 64 gigabytes. 32 gigabytes.
Only 64 gigabytes of RAM, huh? I guess you're not taking it that seriously, Ryan.
Okay, another super chat. Thank you, Ryan. Another $5. AS Rocks X670E Type.
ASRock.
ASRock. Okay, sure. Liam Lee Galahad to LCD White Liquid Cooler. What the fuck is that? Liam Lee 011 Dynamic Evo XL Plus 48 terabyte of HDD storage. Ryan, you didn't have to super chat. I mean,
he did
super chat, but now I have to read this, and I'm butchering it. And 16.
Whoa! What? Wait! You're going with? Are you getting four terabyte M.2 drives, or is it what the hell? What the hell, man? No, 4 terabyte. Is that 4 times 4 terabytes M.2?
What are you running a whole company? 48 terabytes?
You're gonna download like 20 copies of the Wukong Monkey King game and just play them all simultaneously on different versions.
Yeah, how many monitors?
Which super wired curved monitor are you gonna get? Because you're definitely gotta get it. I've been looking at super wide curved monitors. Obviously, a very poignant part of this discussion about mythical storytelling. Thanks, Phill. I will look into all of those, Ryan. Thanks for super chatting the parts list.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I didn't know what that meant, but thanks for the super chats. All right, next slide. I should have made one of Wukong. I didn't think we would be talking about it. Otherwise, I would have. Of course, I have to talk about Lord of the Rings because of course I have to. The Lord of the Rings is not actually contrary to the opinions of people that make adaptations like The Rings of Power and even I would say The Hobbit. A lot of these modern adaptations, all the million and one Lord of the Rings and Tolkien rip-off fantasy stories out there. It is not just about pretty elves or flowery poems or even touching elf-dwarf friendships. Lord of the Rings is about triumph over the greatest of worldly evils, the desire for power, even by everyday regular people, even by the smallest of regular person, the most insignificant creature. Every challenge in the story can be interpreted as about temperance, perseverance, and mercy. And mercy is actually very important to Lord of the Rings because I think the story, the climax of the story of Golem actually being the one to technically destroy the ring, the message there is that mercy saves the day. If Frodo hadn't spared him, it hadn't been merciful, then he wouldn't have succeeded in the end. The universals are temperance and resilience, and that's why Lord of the Rings is a mythological story. Because Tolkien understood all this.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Cox, thank you for 20 membership. Oh. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Look at that.
I got one. Yay! Finally, I'm a member of this channel.
Yay! Wow! Really? Oh, thanks, Jake.
Wow! Look at this! Look at this Ragnar figurine in the members section. Great.
Yeah, you have little stickers and emojis. Oh my gosh! Yay! Fun.
Lord of the Rings is interesting in fiction because he created the mythology first, and then told a narrative around that. You know, he was doing his linguistic stuff and everything.
Yeah. They have their own myths in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that's how vast it is. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It certainly helped that Tolkien himself was a mythologist. And I mean, and I do think that clearly not every story needs to be mythological and epic and all that. And I think there's sort of a in this idea that, well, only good stories are like that. No. Not every story has to be like that. That is not the only type of entertainment that has value. But what I think is bad is not when writers don't have an understanding of mythology and what it takes to build a cohesive world that has an underlying structure, and when they don't understand how to have a moral message. I do think mythology requires a moral message to some level, and it's sort of astroturfed as just being really epic, but there is no meaning. I think that is bad. And clearly Tolkien wasn't doing that because he was a mythology. I think he spoke a ton of old languages. Clearly he spoke Old Norse. He was a linguist. He was a mythologist, and he was setting out to create mythology for Britain because so much had been lost in the Norman conquests, and that was his goal. And he was creating from a deep understanding of storytelling. So yeah, not something
it's very Christian, isn't it?
It actually is. So I was just watching this other breakdown, and I can't remember the name right now of the channel, but I heard this excellent breakdown of how the world building in The Lord of the Rings is clearly from a Christian and a religious point of view, because there is a top-down structure. There is a objective right and wrong, good and evil that is imposed by a universal power. And the video itself that I saw was about tying in Foundation and Dune and Lord of the Rings and A Song of Ice and Fire, and how each of those works were kind of a reflection of their time and an answer to the other. So, for example, the Lord of the Rings was Tolkien creating mythology for the British Isles and creating mythology in the, he called it something else, but the fantasy genre. Anyways, and Song of Ice and Fire was an answer to that, just like how Dune was an answer to Foundation. And the difference was how Foundation had this view of top down. It's not completely so, but the argument was whether imposing rules from the top down would work out. And Dune was a rejection of this idea that society could be managed from the top down through this structured order. Lord of the Rings, the moral argument was that there is an objective right and wrong. There is a top-down order to everything. And Song of Ice and Fire is a rejection of that, in essence, which I think is very, very interesting. And each of those writers were writing from their times. Some were more clearly, you can tell which were the ones that were more conservative, which were the writers that were more liberal. George R. R. Martin is a giant hippie. Tolkien was a conservative Catholic. So yeah, I think it's fascinating how these things show through what they create.
All the things that Martin calls out Tolkien on for Lord of the Rings are a lot of things I like about it. So it was like, whatever, bro. Finish your book.
Alan Moore
I'm a
was doing
huge
that
fan.
too. He was ripping on it, and it's like, shut the fuck up, Alan Moore.
It's silly. So I'm a huge fan of A Song of Ice and Fire, but I also the whole Lord of the Rings just had all these like the points that some of these writers, that George and Alan Moore criticize Lord of the Rings for. I just think it doesn't make any sense. I don't think they understand why it was created that way. Just because someone creates from a different point of view and a different worldview doesn't mean that what Tolkien created and his point of view didn't resonate with people, because clearly it did. Right. And there was something true and universal to that, and a lot of people like that idea. There's a sort of natural order to Lord of the Rings that is very appealing, and I like the humanistic approach to Dune and to Song of Ice and Fire. It's more the powers that be are bad and corrupt, so the fates of individual humans should be left to the small folk to decide. That's sort of the message that both Dune and Song of Ice and Fire have. I like that, but I think that a lot is lost in the way that it's approached. I think there's sort of a sort of, my greatest critique of A Song of Ice and Fire is kind of hopeless. It's like everything is bad, everything is terrible. So what are you working for? Where's the hope? Lord of the Rings feels very hopeful against great evils, and I think you need that. And I think when you sort of, a lot of I'd like to see someone create fantasy where, sure, you can. There's a critique of the powers that be, but at the same time, there is hope against evil, right? I think Star Wars, for example, does that. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I feel like that's more primal, like, and someone said it in the chat really well. Chris Fist saying that Alan Moore and Martin both Marxist compromised nihilists. I think the nihilism part of it really can taint the work. I don't know.
I do think both of them kind of have to exist in tandem, because like if you had all of either side, if it was all aspirational, people would just build a craving for kind of deconstruction.
Yeah, no,
different point of view in it.
I agree.
Like they both kind of go hand in hand. Like they can, the tearing down can only exist and be cathartic with people who have taken in a lot of aspirational and.
You know what I was thinking when Irene was saying about the structure in Lord of the Rings and the good and evil? I was thinking like, what about if there's like one orc who's like a good guy? I'm curious about that guy. And I'm like,
it's funny. In Lord of the Rings, Melkor is Satan. He's the fallen angel. And then his lieutenant, Sauron, they both get defeated. And I don't think there's any concept in Lord of the Rings that after Sauron gets defeated that could ever happen again. So I do see the criticism that it's a sort of very fanciful way of looking at the world compared to the idea that evil can come from anywhere and anyone, and if it gets enough of a foothold, it can rise up and become just as powerful as these big, godlike beings. So I understand both sides, but I do like the hopeful side of it as well.
Yeah,
I do. I understand the criticism of, well, evil is defeated and now all is well, though I don't think that is exactly true of how Lord of the Rings is presented. Moromi says Melkor can't be defeated. Technically, he was just banished into like space by Iluvatar, but he still exists. Evil does still exist in the world, and I think the scaring of the Shire and the extension of the story, if it wasn't so much in the movie, but in the books, how Frodo dealt with the trauma of his journey and how he felt like he was a failure. It was essentially PTSD. That negates the argument that Lord of the Rings had this framing of everything is just fine, you defeat the evil, so all is well with the world. There's still evil. Saruman was still there. He still came to the Shire. That
Yeah,
safe
do you remember
home
what's
was
his
invaded.
face getting super angry about that they didn't do the scouring of the Shire?
Now, I understand why they didn't do it in the movie, but it was an important part of the resolution.
Exactly. It's really a big part of the whole message of Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's almost not. It's more fanciful and less believable and grounded without that ending.
But I mean, there were already 8 endings in that movie, so I do understand.
Right.
What's the scarring of
another
the
one.
Shire? What happens there?
Sauron
It's
comes
scaring
back to the Shire and turns it into his own Charlie chocolate factory, but with coal.
Yeah, Saruman is so pissed after everything that happened, he decides to go take it out on the Shire and ruin it. The Statsides get so. The message is essentially that there's nowhere that you can escape evil. It will eventually reach everywhere, even this idyllic place in Hobbiton.
Yeah.
Yeah, like was that an observation on the industrialization of like Britain during the time
that's my first thought is, you go to the bombings and everything, that you can't really escape it. Even if you're sort of far away from it, eventually it finds you.
I did have a question about Lord of the Rings, and this is a perfect time. You got Bancroft and Irene here. I thought about this a couple weeks ago. It's similar in the same vein as my Odysseus question. If you guys were here a couple minutes ago.
What came first, the Lord or the Ring?
No. So orcs in the Lord of the Rings mythos, orcs are their own. I'm asking, they're a race. Is that right?
Technically,
they're like mutated.
It's a little mysterious.
It's a little
mysterious. They are now their own race, but they're said to have been corrupted elves from way back in the day.
Okay. I thought I remember that from the films. And then the Uruk-hai are orcs
Saruman's
that are
wizard plus orc concoction.
All right.
I believe.
And what would you say is the most famous line an orc says from Lord of the Rings?
Meat's back on the menu, boys.
Exactly. How does an orc know what a menu is?
You think
that they're not like complete drooling idiots? If you read The Hobbit, the trolls are they're having sensible discussions and everything.
Do they go to the orc cafe and there's a bunch of
I don't think it really get into what the day-to-day life is in Mordor, but yeah, I mean they speak English.
Yeah, if civilization, they're just controlled by an evil demigod.
If you've ever made an RPG character, Phil, if you roll at least a 10 intelligence, apparently you have to know all the normal shit, and you can't pretend your character doesn't know what sailing is or a pirate is or anything. You just have to automatically, even if you lived in the mountains, you have to know everything that's normal. If you roll above a 10, so I guess
No. You can pretend to not know. You can role play it. Nobody says you have to know those things.
I wasn't allowed to.
I thought you were going to ask
that's
if
silly.
they were like orc ladies and orc babies and stuff.
Yeah,
Not
don't
that
they
they're
come out
all
of they come
restaurants.
out of the mud like a guppy fish thing with a
Well,
skin on them?
That's dwarves.
All
But
orcs are
that's a
men.
joke for dwarves.
So if all orcs are men, who makes the meals?
That's not explored. Okay, you're George R. R. Martining it. Like, what is the tax system that orcs pay to, like?
Yeah, he
Phil.
really
Great
get
line.
into it.
Great line, by the
Phil,
way.
there's
Anybody
there's
know?
a small group of orc brood mothers, and they
What?
create broods of orc that all come out fully formed as adults after their their gestation period in Orc Dream World, where the actual training
Yeah.
takes place, and that's where they have all of the restaurants and the menus.
And they hug your face and impregnate you, and then it bursts out your chest.
And it bursts out of your chest into the wall vagina, where the secondary
Oh
gestation
my
period
God.
begins, where they grow
It's
wings.
canon.
You know,
I think we're conflating here.
That's what J.R. Tolkien was really going for.
All right.
Chris, that's funny. All the female orcs are barren and lost femininity. It's modernity. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
No comment.
but was the orc because he's based it on World War II, right? So the orcs essentially the corrupted Germans. Like they used to
No,
be so
Tolkien-
pure and
based on
healthy.
No,
World War II.
Tolkien didn't. He didn't do allegory. It wasn't a one-on-one. I would say his.
I think he actually didn't like allegory.
experience. No, he actively despised allegory. I think it's just natural that his experience it was World War One, right? And also his religion naturally reflected in his storytelling, but it wasn't an intentional allegory. It wasn't like orcs are Nazis or anything like that.
Who did he fight with about allegory? There was another writer that was loved allegory, and they had famously kind of conflicted over it.
Was that Lewis?
C.S. Lewis.
C.S. Lewis. Oh yeah, because Lion Witch in the Wardrobe.
Aslan is just Jesus. He's just Lion Jesus. Okay.
It's like full on allegory. C.S. Lewis was all about allegory.
Oh yeah, they were like best buds though. They're like
Yeah, but they argued like Englishmen.
Yeah, one of them was pro nipple, and the other one was anti nipple, and they were the best of friends in the world.
Orcs don't have nipples.
It was like Jefferson
You know-
and Adams. You know, they were writing letters to each other until they died.
Right.
Yeah, the question
You know
is,
what
do
was
orcs
cool?
have nipples?
C.S. Lewis and Tolkien were both part of the Inklings, which is like this little literary group at Oxford, and they both ended up writing amazing works, but they would just get together at Oxford and bring some stories and debate this kind of shit. That's cool.
Which was one of the original proposed names for this show, but our version was going to be Stinklings.
I thought it was going to be the Twinklings because Vaughn was going to be on, but then we kicked him off.
That was an idea that was quickly
wasn't
nipped in
gonna
the
be
bud.
No.
Thank God.
Argue like best buds. Yeah, that's what I don't know if it was like Gilgamesh and Enkidu, but nice circle back too before. Well done. Yeah. The creator of blog is Modern Inklings. That would be cool. Hopefully a couple of us end up successable. Wouldn't
Hopefully
that
it's
be great?
me.
One.
Yeah, I hope it's me and nobody else.
Oh my God. We pair. It's already pair.
Ah! Are you saying
it
that
is.
the next Lord of the Rings isn't like super self-indulgent fantasy porn?
Yeah, are you saying overly
Barbarian
detailed fucking
Ornate.
fantasy stories with big tits? Yeah, ornate fantasy epics isn't the next
Ornate
big
breasts.
thing.
Wait, but that would make Mark Miller the Tolkien and not Narwhal.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah,
Nah, Pear's gonna
Schmeagle.
make it big. Don't forget us when you make it big, Pear. Remember your old friends, please.
What is my precious if I'm Schmeagle?
Whose ring is it?
It's the raccoon that lives in your backyard.
For real.
Oh no, that's your golem.
Yeah.
All right. A couple more slides. Mythology versus entertainment. I kind of wanted to cover this. I kind of just summarized this earlier on, but to rehash the beginning, mythology is entertainment, but it is heightened entertainment that is a deep reflection of the human state, a roadmap of ancient wisdom coated beneath layers of regalement. Ooh, fancy words. That is not to devalue more low investment forms of entertainment. Not only is it impossible for every story to be mythic, but society needs escapism as a pressure valve, which is very important. So, not everything has to be mythology. Having 1,000,001 isekais is perfectly fine. Society needs that shit.
Do you guys think that there's a difference between the more modern stuff we're talking about and the ancient mythology? Because seemingly, to my knowledge, a lot of ancient myths were wholeheartedly believed by the people that were hearing them. Does that change the kind of the impact that it has on society when people follow it as a religion or believe that this stuff actually happened and take it in, creation myths or why something in nature happens, stuff like that?
I don't think it's all that different now. I think people believe all sorts of stuff now with no real scientific reason. But I do think it would have been different back then, slightly, but for different ways. We have all the world's accumulated knowledge at our fingertips at all times. Obviously, we didn't have that. So if someone had told you, if you live in a village your whole life and you don't really leave it, and someone told you, oh, there's this, these events that happened in this faraway land, you don't have any means to debunk that or any reason not to believe it.
Right.
So I think it shows that we're both the same people. We're still made of the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We still have the same emotions and thoughts and feelings, but we just sort of live in a different time frame. But even then, it's hard to imagine, say, there's more time elapsed between Cleopatra and the building of the pyramids than there was between Cleopatra and us. So
That's
even
crazy.
for Cleopatra, the pyramids were ancient. So we sort of like tend to shrink time as we look back in the past.
For sure.
So even for them, there were, I think for everyone, something is old and ancient. It's seemingly more important. They did that when they wrote the English version of the Bible. They used anachronisms to make it seem older.
That's interesting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's more of a separation of in the past because people didn't have the tools at their disposal to understand the natural world. Mythologic stories that are essentially moral templates for society were merged with explanations for how society and how humanity came about. And in our modern age, that's just separated. So maybe it doesn't matter so much that we don't literally believe these stories are real because we have a scientific explanation and a process for understanding the world and what is real. That moral blueprint is just separated into something else, and it still has the same effect and plays the same role on human civilization. Does that make sense?
I mean, can you fully conclude that everyone did just believe it, though? You know what I mean?
No,
Maybe.
no, I don't think
No?
you can. And
Right.
I think that's another important thing as well. And also as well, they probably lived in societies where blasphemy was a real threat.
Yeah.
So even if they didn't believe it, they wouldn't have articulated that. Pulling this all the way back to Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh was the first flood story, but it's not the only one. And it wasn't until very recently they weren't able to decipher all of the different languages of ancient history until somewhat recently. There was a time when no one knew there were other flood stories out there, and now there are dozens. So we have that knowledge now. You know, like it's not only the Noah and the flood story. There's lots of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that puts a different spin on these things. If you know that similar stories have been told, at least about similar things for similar reasons throughout human history, all over the world, seemingly independently, which would lend you to more think, okay, these are human stories intended to pass down lessons rather than actual events that actually took place.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about because it seems like the more connected the world is and the more at our fingertips communication is, the less weight story has in society. Like modern stories, less people are reading. Like there's crazy percentage of people not reading now compared to 30 years ago. And
We're
then
going back to oral society.
it's because the connectivity in the internet and how fast we can get information now. Like some of the modern myths would be like the Paul Bunyan thing, or the like legends of the Wild West. People that actually did things.
A close modern day version. Obviously, there's memes, like they get passed around really fast, and the cream rises to the top. Like literally, Big Chungus could be seen as a modern day myth. You know what I mean? But not really. It's just going through the same process.
Well, he's the dominant meme.
Yeah, he's the dominant meme. But also, you know, you have things like Slenderman that come around, and you have literally people killing. Committing murder over a thing like Slenderman in the modern era. But
maybe memes eventually become myths.
Yeah.
You know, if they propagate long enough and wide enough.
Like, so the point I kind of want to get at is, like, if there's a difference between the more modern myths and what we have now with how quick everything's communicated and the really old stuff, I think there was probably as much, still a lot of noise around in the past. Not as much because the internet makes so much noise. But again, it's like cream rising to the top and things being refined over time. There was probably a lot of potential myths that fell through by the wayside across all of history. And it's just the most truest of ones that get maintained over the thousands of years to get to us now. You know what I mean? Like, there could be something that came about in the modern time that gets refined even further over the next few thousand years and feels to people then how the really ancient myths feel to us now. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the test of time certainly does you kind of need to let things sit for a bit. It might be. It's almost a bit of a leap to call even Star Wars a myth, but I do think it's permeated enough, and there's enough time that has passed. But it's still hard. Who knows in a few hundred years?
Like I do think there's a difference where like you mentioned oral tradition, that maybe the was it the Chinese whispers game of telephone that could have gone on with passing things on through just sharing the story. That story could get more refined, but in the modern era, you're literally getting exact copies of like the DVD version. So maybe it's immune from becoming really mythological because it has no way of refining itself as an idea through people as they pass it on.
I think there still is, because there's so many adaptations that people will make, like the whole, and media is becoming easier to make, like especially with AI. Anyone can make remakes and make their own take on a story. I think that's going to be the evolution going forward.
So one day, the myth of the modern era will be all of the AI undulations of Batman. There'll be the myth of Batman.
Yes.
After everyone's AI retellings and tweakings of the story.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's interesting the the Star Wars thing is interesting because you have the original cut, right? And that is almost like a mythic thing for people now because it's been altered so much by the producers of it. So that kind of correlates with like a very mysterious mythology behind it.
We don't even have to look into the future. We can look at things now that are popular, that have been adjusted to the modern day. So I think Sherlock Holmes. When I think Sherlock Holmes now, I don't even really think of the 19th century. I think of like modern day, BBC Sherlock Holmes or something like that. Like he's been brought forward, and now he's just it's about this character who has this kind of power to deduct everything, and it sort of has moved forward beyond where it started.
Yeah, I mean, look at that new Batman, Absolute Batman, with the giant chunky chest. You were just showing him yesterday on your stream, Michael.
Which one? Oh, yeah.
The Daniel Warren Johnson Batman.
Crazy Batman. It's a good cover, though.
Yeah, they change all that stuff all the time.
Just companies remaking their own IPs.
I Googled something while you guys were talking real fast. This is back to Lord of the Rings. I just wanted to say it really fast. There's a word that Tolkien uses, and I don't know if it's in the books, but it's called a eucatastrophe. EUCATASTROPHE. So a eucatastrophe, in essence, is a massive turn in fortune from a seemingly unconquerable situation to an unforeseen victory, usually brought by grace rather than heroic effort. Such a turn is catastrophic in the sense that its breadth and surprise and positive in that a great evil or misfortune is averted. And I think that I heard someone was saying that that's what Gandalf is doing in the books. He's like, he thinks that the eucatastrophe has to happen for them to succeed, but he just wants to get everything to the point where it can possibly happen. So
it's very Catholic. It sounds very Catholic.
Yeah, and then he says the ultimate eucatastrophe is the resurrection of Christ.
It's like the Eucharist, right?
Yeah. And then just to contrast too, because there's a word in Dune that's like similar but not really, but it's called Kralizek. Have you guys heard of that word? And Kralizek is the battle at the end of the universe that will decide everything, kind of. And
it's like,
is it like Ragnarok?
Yeah, maybe it's like Ragnarok. Is that what Ragnarok is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it's
so.
I'm
not super familiar with it, but I think it's the final battle between. No, I don't. Yeah, it's more of a Michael Oden question.
Well, Ragnarok is the event that the gods fight at each other, and then the world is thrown into an ice age for millennia, and then rebirth happens too. And we are after Ragnarok. The Norse thought that Ragnarok happened, and we are the results of civilization of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so those concepts are interesting. The eucatastrophe. So speaking of how they're different, like Dune and Lord of the Rings, they're both great but different. Is like one, their prophet word is a little bit more about the past, I guess, and is for Lord of the Rings, and then the prophet word for Dune is the future.
Good catastrophe.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So
good catastrophe, I would call it.
Turns out to be good fortune.
Yeah, I just call it a good catastrophe.
Yeah, and I think that might be. I don't know if he's saying this is what it is, but I don't know if it is actually just the fact that Shmeagol Gollum bites the ring and falls into the volcano. I don't know if that's the catastrophe or not.
I do think it is, and I didn't know there was a literary term. Well, the term for that as literary technique. I just thought that was him. That in itself was just keeping the story realistic, because again, Lord of the Rings is very hopeful and it is idealistic in a way, but then Tolkien does add in these drops of realism of like the Scouring of the Shire. Things aren't just perfect. It is not a fairy tale where everything is resolved. And at the climax of the story, Frodo actually didn't save the day. It almost happened by fate. And Chris Fisk has been saying in the chat, evil can only destroy itself, which is the whole concept of Mount Doom, and is also why Golem in the end was the one that destroyed the ring. So
Yeah.
it ties in. It is a huge catastrophe, I would say.
Yeah. It's cool kind of going with it too of like I didn't fully understand that the stakes and what Gandalf knew where he's like it's almost he's like, all right, this isn't gonna work, but we have to try it anyway. We're gonna lose. Just so everyone's get out on the table. Evil's gonna win. There's no way we can possibly win. But we can take this ring to the volcano. It's just something to do, so let's do it. And then he's like, yes! At the end.
It was a, well, we have to try regardless kind of thing, I think.
Yeah.
I don't clearly remember, but I do think that's
He's like Woody Allen. He's
pretty
like,
accurate.
oh, what's the use? What's the point? I guess we can take it to
Might as well try.
We're never going
Might
to
as well
win.
try.
Have you seen the bad guys? They're everywhere.
I don't know that reference. Anyhow, so just a quick comparison between escapism and mythology. Escapism, they're both entertainment, but escapism is more micro, small, in the sense of, actually, this is something that Jake mentioned, so I don't know if I can explain it as well as he.
Yeah, escapism's the totally trash, crappy version of mythology. Mythology's super cool, and escapism's like, why are you bothering with that shit?
Okay, cool. Thank
right,
you.
Escapism is like masturbation. It's fleeting, you know, and mythology stays with. Mythology is like your tantric 6-hour session with your true love, right?
But you need both in life. This is the thing, right? Like,
you need both in life for sure.
It's you to get to the goal of the 24-hour tantric edging session with one's true love. You need a lot of practice on the escapism version.
Yeah. Isn't
Thanks
Gilgamesh
for that.
from the Kama Sutra?
Very great.
So the book.
The Kuma
Great.
Sutra.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean it's the micro and the macro, right? There's still, if mythology is like an innate, it's kind of like telling a story that ends up being a metaphor of like an innate truth to you as a human. The escapist stuff is still a part of the truth of being a human, right? It's just on the smaller scale. Like, it's not as meaningful, but it's still, explosions is still cool. You know what I mean? Like, right?
Yeah, they're cool.
But you need the micro.
Yeah, both are necessary for entertainment. Agreed. Cool. Dun dun dun. In conclusion, creating mythology is an ancient art that is integral to the collective psyche of every society, and it should be continually practiced and persevered. The end. Thank you, everyone, for coming to my TED Talk.
Has anybody seen the film? Has anybody seen The Immortals?
No.
No.
Is that the one with Angelina Jolie?
No. What are you thinking of? Beowulf?
No, wasn't there one? It was like a DC movie.
Oh, you're thinking of The Eternals. Oh, that was the Marvel. No, the Immortals.
I wish I hadn't seen that one.
Yeah, I can't believe you did. The Immortals is like a Greek mythological story. It's actually like one of Henry Cavill's first starring roles, and Mickey Rourke is in it. He plays King Hyperion. It's pretty badass. It's got the vibes of like a what's that Perseus story? Clash of the Titans, kind of like that, where it's this hero, this happens a lot in mythology because Zeus bangs a lot of human chicks, so he has a lot of bastard kids that are half, demigod, So you get like Perseus and Hercules and whoever this Henry Cavill guy was. It's one of those stories where he's a descendant of a god.
Wait,
that
Henry
goes to-
Cavill is one of Zeus's kids?
I
Yeah.
feel like I have seen this. Does
Yeah.
he have a bow and arrow?
Maybe he might get one, but Mickey Rourke plays King Hyperion. He's this bastard villain that kills his mom, and all the gods fight at the end. It's pretty tight, pretty cool.
Nope, I haven't seen it.
I might have actually seen that on your recommendation, Phil. Actually,
Really?
Yeah.
How long have I known you, Michael? It's been a while, hasn't it?
Some might say too long.
So, second half. I don't think I'll do a long second half because it's getting late. But we
do a
can
15 minutes, second half.
Yeah, I got to go pretty soon, but let's do it.
Okay, let's just hang out for a little bit. All right, nobody go. Everybody stay right here. I'm gonna play a cat video, and then we're gonna do our relax second half, hang out, and chill for a little bit. Okay. See you guys in a second. What? Why is Paris? What the? Jake, stop fucking with the layout. Oh my god. I regret giving him control. Hello.
I was
Where's
doing
my note?
nothing. I'm not here. I'm not here.
Homer,
Everyone
this
As
is God. Pre Jones.
I
was here the whole
thoroughly
time.
all of this.
Everyone
all
leaves
they
in the
were.
second half. This
Yeah,
is
we all
God.
leave and go get-
Free
I'm
Jones of the TV television
debating-
to rock bottom.
Getting a drink. Should I get a drink, guys? Or no? Maybe I
Get
should.
it? No,
What kind of drink? Like a drink?
you just had coffee.
Yeah, I should probably not drink wine after coffee. Let's not be a wino. I will finish my coffee. Cheers.
It'll give you a headache.
It will. Yeah, Mom. Let's not do that.
That's the quote of the night.
Unhealthy.
Mythology is like masturbation, Phill Diaz.
No, I didn't say
Brilliant.
that.
Remember
You
that.
said that word for word.
No,
You did actually say
no, I said what was it?
12-hour tantric.
Entertainment
with-
is like masturbation.
escapism.
Escapism, that's what it was.
I must have zoned out, thankfully.
Oh yeah, let's promote
Oh my
some
God.
books and shit.
Guys, so
No.
next week, next Friday, I'm launching our next book. This is a collaboration between, and this is a sneak peek of the page. So I've been setting up the campaign page, launching next Friday, the 30th, collaboration between Zaid Comics and Gifted Rebels. So you guys remember back in the day, Adam Lawson did that killer book, no pun intended, The Kill Journal, horror slasher fun. He came to me with the idea of combining, crossing over the Lost Pages with the Kill Journal, of an amazing Rob Willis cover. The interior is drawn by Juan Gideon, who we all met at a Heroes Con. It's an awesome artist. And we have Eugene back on colors. I'm super excited about this one. I'm sure you guys saw the trailer I put together last week. That was so fun to put that together. And yeah, so we're doing a special thing for people that are on our mailing list, the Zaid Comics mailing list. So we're going to be putting up special discounted secret perks for the campaign when it launches. And the only way you can get them is if you're on the mailing list. So go over to, where is it? ZaidComics.com. You can go to the main page here, and our mailing list sign up is right here on the website. So you could head on over there. You'll get an email when we launch, and we'll have those secret perks ready to go on launch day. We're launching on the Diaz Brothers show. I'm hanging out with my good friend Michael Bancroft after that. We might have some special giveaway stuff for your show, Michael. Trying to set that up.
We can do. It's been a while since we've done some rigged giveaways.
No, that was the first thing that popped in your head. It will not be rigged, okay? And then
I want
also,
to win something.
yeah, you could win. You got to be signed.
No, I want to win something. I don't want it to be a could. I want it to be
We'll see.
done
We'll
deal.
see.
Don't
Stay
guarantee.
complete.
And then also, I finally set up the Printful store for the Zaid Comics shop. So if you guys want some cool merch, head on over here and check out the shirts that we got. We got some awesome Shelby Robertson art on shirts. I can't wait to get some in because we ordered some for ourselves. I'm super
What type of
excited to see
printing?
these.
What type of, are they the all over print ones, but you just put a lot of black on them, or are they a different print? Are they the sublimation?
I think they're the dye sublimated ones. But Printful is crazy. Have you ever messed around with them, Jake?
Yeah, I wear Printful all over print t-shirts to the gym.
I saw we could do that. I thought of you. We could do the Hawaiian shirts if we wanted. We could do freaking anything. So we're gonna be playing around with this. Hopefully, we got a couple sales tonight, which is awesome. And now we could just go wild with all this art because, man, we have so much art that we've accumulated over the years for all these books and stuff. So I can't wait to grab some of these. And if you're on the mailing list as well, you get a special promo code that gets free shipping for merchandise. So check that out. Check it.
Awesome. Yeah, Printful is great. It's
Yeah,
really
crazy.
great print on demand for a ton of products. I use Printful too. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Speaking of Printful stores, I might as well, if y'all don't mind. If y'all don't mind, look at this. Oh, look at this. I wonder what this is. FiendishComic.com. I have the shop open, and guess where all these products are? Well, not everything.
All the merch.
All the merch, yeah, including the books. No, just kidding. I do have all 3 Fiendish books. They're on the store. We ship out every couple weeks. I gather all the orders and I send them out to RJ to fulfill them. All the books are printed now, so you can get these in pretty short order. If you missed out on the campaigns, you can get both chapter 1, 2, and 2.5 from the website. And also digital versions exist of chapter 1 and 2 on Global Comics. You can just click through the read the comic tab for the links to that, so you can read 1 and 2 digitally online. And the Printful products I have a bunch of wall art. This is all fulfilled through Printful except for the maps. The canvas maps are I have a bunch here. I got those made in Taiwan, and all of this is made in Printful. So they have all over print tanks, jackets. It's getting cold. You want to get yourself one of these hoodies. That's me and Michael rocking the Fiendish cap in Tampa. It was awesome. Good times.
It's awesome.
And look at all these other spiffy stuff. I have ordered. My house is like half full of Fiendish products. It's just like because I order a bunch of the stuff.
Yeah, I'm doing the same.
Quality. So yeah, I own so much of this stuff. So it's just like I have 2 Fiendish hoodies. I have a Fiendish leather jacket that I have to give away because it doesn't fit me. I just ordered it to like test it out. I have a bomber jacket. It's insane. I'm just like a walking advertisement for my comic. But anyways, this stuff is good quality. Check it out. You can order. This is all fulfilled directly from the factory, print on demand, and it's good stuff. So
yeah, it's so cool. My brother's just been sending me new shirt ideas all week, and I'm like, yes, all of this.
Because you can just keep making stuff. Like I've spent way too much money on Printful. Like I even have a bag of Pacoon from. I'll go get it. I don't have to show my Pacoon bag before.
That's so sick. Everybody needs a pen.
yeah, this pin is awesome. I don't have one on hand, but I need to take these off pre-order because they're already made. They are not pre-order.
The only problem with pins is I don't know what to do with them.
You have don't you have like a purse or something?
Purse? No,
Yeah.
Yeah, Bancroft's famous purse.
I thought you have a European carry-all.
That's why you
have
need
this.
keychains. It's
Oh. Oh, look at
That's
that.
what I get around with, like a plastic thing.
What is that?
Wait,
We're gonna take
Banker,
to
what did
work.
you hold up? What the?
My
Oh,
wallet in
that
there.
is-
It's got a
That's Michael. That's Tupperware.
pretty much.
He
My,
doesn't want to have a purse, so he carries
they
around
were
Tupperware.
getting because they were originally for Victoria, so we
Yeah.
had to put like a label on it, and she put that on there.
Yes, that's
Oh,
awesome.
And
that's
carry-all.
funny. That does look like the kind of little plastic folder I would take to school.
Jake,
Oh, yeah,
I
look at
can't
that.
wait for mine, Jake.
I know. I'm so looking forward to sending off. It looks so dark in this light. It's not light enough. It's so dim. But yeah, like keychains will give you all the fun of an enamel pin, but you can actually carry it with you. Conversation piece. Yeah.
Cool.
People collect
Aviator
pins though.
asks-
That's the thing. People have a collection thing with pins. You can put them in
Yeah,
special
enamel-
pouches.
Mm-hmm. I don't actually wear them that often. I have a couple on my bags, but I just have like a whole pin board. They just look cool. There you go. A lot of people just collect them. They're not for everyone, but tell you what, if you make enamel pins, they are expensive to make, but they will always sell at conventions because a lot of people do just like putting them on their bags. Aviator asked Fiendish 3 sign up when. The sign up is right here. I have a universal sign up list right on the website. Thank you for reminding me to mention that.
Sign up.
Right here, giant red bar, email sign up. This is universal. So any updates for Fiendish in general, you will get an email for it if you sign up right here.
You should make a Fiendish 3. When you have the cover, you should just make a Fiendish 3 sign-up page that's the exact same clickable thing to the normal sign-up, but it makes it fit, like it's obviously makes people feel like it's the Fiendish 3 sign-up, right? If it's all one place, you should totally do that.
That's true. I should do that. I think the universal, I get the idea of, well, it's all going to one email list, but it generates more excitement to actually say that you are now signing up for Fiendish 3. This is it's
I made a fractured mind page on my site, but you're right, it all goes to the same universal Lucent mailing list.
But genius.
Yeah, genius. Fiendish 1.5 when I can finish the layouts. Trust me, I already have a story. I want it to happen. I have not had time. But things will be moving forward. This is why I haven't set a launch date for 1.5 or chapter 3 because I know I'm not ready yet. But it will be. I am working on it, as evidenced by the screen right now. Here are the pencils. They are pencils. For my first cover for Venus 3. So they're done. Aha! Yeah. I might have gone a little too detailed with it, but regardless, these are technically pencils. I'm gonna print these out. I think I went a little too tight with them because I'm going to print them out and ink them traditionally. So when I do digital pencils, knowing that I'm going to ink it traditionally, I tend to go really, really tight with it because I want to just not have to just make things.
Are you saying that because of what I said yesterday?
Well, it's that too, but also every time I post my type pencils, someone on Twitter is like, "Those are pencils?" Yes, those are pencils. It's.
But how are they pencils?
Thumbnails,
Explain
roughs,
to me how they're pencils.
I do thumbnails, roughs, and pencils. Those are multiple steps before I get to inks. So
okay, you draw this again. You're gonna draw this again.
Rini, can
it'll
you
be
zoom
even
in
better
on it?
when I draw it again. You don't understand. This is not
show the rough parts.
Too much.
Yeah, what's the rough?
Well, they're essentially like pre-inks. It means what you don't have to actually think when you're inking it, right?
Yeah, it's a very zen state when I'm actually inking it, and I can just focus on making the language really beautiful and the details and textures come to life. I like being able to do that because all the structure is all out of the way if you do type pencils.
Is this the pencils still?
Yeah, these are pencils.
Okay.
Look, there's little X's. That means I haven't spotted the blacks yet. That means it's pencils, guys.
I thought they were just like cute dead eyes.
I love the back of this demon dude with all the faces. That's so cool.
I'm gonna ruin
yeah,
I'm gonna ruin the demons for everyone right now because there's something that always comes into my head whenever I see those demons. I'm gonna hold on, I haven't found it yet. I gotta share my screen.
Right.
But I don't know if anyone else has ever seen it.
Don't ruin it.
Masks. No, I'm gonna ruin. Okay.
It.
So whenever I see those demons, if I get this image and then
Watch
drag
Jake
it back.
try to destroy my entire IP. Here's
Okay. I
go.
always think of the Bionicle masks.
Oh yes, brother. Bionicles great.
And so whenever I see the demon there, it's just a whole group. Wait, go back to the demon's back. Like it's a whole group of it's all the Bionicle masks.
Oh yeah.
She's made Bionicle demons. Look at them all there. She's got the Matanui masks going on.
Dude, Matanui.
There we go. Look, that's
cool.
It was
I
blue
don't
one.
make sure.
See,
The-
everyone's agreeing.
The one's not even here though.
Cool.
Like on it's the blue one with the forked bottom. Bionicle. Yeah, I got you.
There you go. So the
Here
demons
are the roughs. There you go. These are roughs. So then I do the pencils on top of this. There's a
There's the
process
roughs.
to these things. Yeah. Just step by step. There you go.
I mean,
Whoa,
I've
that's
been
cool, too.
it does make sense. I've been copying you on my Connell cover by doing really tight pencils.
really?
But it means when you come to ink it, it's so fun. Like I actually used to dread inking, but I've been doing some inking just for fun that I don't even intend to use, just because it really is fun to ink over tight pencils. You're tracing yourself.
Yeah, basically, and you get to focus on just making you're not thinking about structure at all. If this was a digital piece, like I understand, I can just touch this up and color it, but I don't do this for interior pages. My interior pencils are still pretty tight, but I only go this ridiculous for covers. Trust me, I can't. This isn't like a normal every single piece thing. This is a cover. This is a campaign cover. I need to make it good. It'll be worth it. So yeah, there you go.
It's gonna
first
be rad.
look at Fiendish 3. Sign up on fiendishcomic.com, everyone.
That's right.
Woo. Oh, go away. And
Speaking of signing up
what
for
is
Fiendish 3, you can go to connellcomic.com and in the email field, you'll sign up for Fiendish 3 right here. So head over there.
Yeah, just go there.
Yeah, just go to bluedickaxe.com, connellcomic.com, put your email in this box, and you'll be fully signed up for Fiendish 3. You'll get information updates when it goes live. No, this is the Connell sign up. People have been getting their preview books. People know some of the secrets. They know some of the truths. And they definitely know who this guy is over here. I showed this tab. Who yesterday Bancroft couldn't figure out if this was a block or something else. But yeah, people will be introduced to this character. They've already met these two fine, wonderful ladies, and they've also learned what this entire moment on the cover is referring to. This is Dee Dee, everyone's favorite, who definitely makes it out of even the preview book in one piece. But yeah, if I go back to this, I've done the pencils to the first Connell cover.
It's gonna be sick.
Look at those
Can't wait to
tight
see it inked, bro.
pencils.
It's like a whole wraparound. Yeah, well, look, like they do look super tight. And if I was just doing this digitally, this is probably where I would usually end it. Like these would just be lines. But the thing is, I really do want to print this off and ink it physically.
Yes.
But
follow the technique. Yeah.
But I had some time. And I wanted to see if it would be fun to ink it digitally, and I just got carried away. And I've done all of this so far.
Inking it, so you're gonna redo all of this work traditionally. Like I don't even do this.
This didn't feel like work because it's so enjoyable. I never realized.
That's why you do tight pencils. Inking is fun.
I never realized it before. Like I I would actually hate using the G Pen. This even uses just the G Pen in Clip Studio, which usually I think my stuff looks terrible using it. But because the pencils were so tight, you get to focus on how cool the lines are. And
Yes,
it's just fun. But yeah, I might end up with both a digitally
And it
inked
looks
version
better.
and a traditionally inked version.
If I'm going to draw my pieces 2-3 times, I'm going to get paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
a good
what
point.
this is.
Yep.
Yeah, you said before you only want to do the draw. You only want to draw your comic once, right?
Exactly.
Our PayPals are easy to find, everyone. Anytime y'all want to help support us for all this extra fucking work we're making ourselves do for no goddamn reason, we much appreciate it. Also, back our books. Thank you.
I wanted to put extra effort into the cover, into all these covers. The obviously, like Renee said on hers, the internals won't be the same. Actually, you can see some of the difference. You see over here, this rope. Wait, is it not in? Oh, I forgot to include it in the photo. I drew it slightly differently. But yeah, go sign up. This is the wraparound cover. Seeing as all of the pages in the book are laid out as like double page spreads that still read as individual pages, I thought all the covers for Connell should be, 1, they should be wraparound, and 2, they should be storytelling covers. So this is kind of like a big alternate universe summary of the entire story, all in one cover. At no part in the book does Connell actually grind like Sonic the Hedgehog down this giant tube whilst holding Truffle and grabbing her boob. This would, if you read the story, this would probably be a very bad situation for him and would trigger something. But in the alternate universe cover, everything's fine. But yeah,
I love the grind of that.
He's grinding down there. He's not told these guys off.
There's a happy little fat lady down there somewhere. Where is she?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
the one in the corner. She's so cute.
Her name's Puff Puff, and she's always eating. And I'm like, and
Caleb seems to love Puff Puff.
Caleb loves Puff Puff, and she's dining on a deceased seedling.
She has an aura. I was just looking with glazed eyes at the entire cover, and my eyes were drawn to her.
You were all of this. You were like, you know what? I want to see this happy giant blubber woman snacking on the brain of a poor little seed creature.
Oh no, that's awesome.
We know Narwhal's type now.
Look at this, Jake.
I
did something similar in the Lost Pages too.
Puff Puff. Ooh.
Oh, nice. Okay. The grind.
What? There's no happy fat lady there.
No, there's
Get it
not.
out of my face.
There will never be a happy fat lady in any of Phil's comics.
Yeah, they're all miserable in my world.
Yeah, Phill needs to sell in his store a no fat chick sticker.
Damn it.
But yeah, go sign up.
Well done, Jake. This looks
You'll
great.
get this. There's only going to be there's 3 covers. There's going to be this one, a guest cover, and then they're both going to be limited to 100 each, and then there'll be the unlimited forever cover. But yeah, there's going to be 2 special covers for this first book, and this is mine, and there will be a special super secret guest one that no one can guess who'll be drawing it.
Jake, you know what you got to do now is you got to go over all this with black and clean it up a little bit, then print it out and then ink that, and then it will be done.
So I'll do this version and then print this version
and then ink it.
I'm trying to one up my retarded process.
Okay, we're gonna one up Irene, but I have a philosophy which is never design on the page, which is the way like I even when these pterodactyls, I even designed these separately, but on this one occasion, I actually designed this new block on the page. I needed a new block. I ran out of designs, and I just designed this kind of like Frankenstein idiot
Designed
guy.
as you went. Awesome.
Nice.
I went and broke my own rules. There you go.
When you told me that rule, I really liked it, but I've since broken it.
I've literally broken it right here on a fucking cover. You know what I mean? On a cover right in the middle, I've broken my own rule. Rules are meant to be broken, I guess. But yeah, cool.
Be a rebel.
The meme is ready.
Okay.
Me.
Let me go through everyone's books. We got Narwhal's, eBay, and also I want to pull up Michael's site. So let's get those
Okay.
shown, and then we'll do the meme, and then we can rest for the night. Where's my screen share? Bada 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 bum. Bum bum. Narwhal. You have eBay. This is what you're pimping now, right?
Yeah, because I don't have anything active right now. I think I'm gonna launch a reprint of Nosferatu to try and coincide with the release of the
Movie,
movie in
right?
December. Yeah,
Nice.
the movie comes out in December,
Mhm.
so I'll just see if that does anything. But that book's awesome, and it's kind of sold out more or less. I think there's a few hardcovers left, so I'm looking forward to that. That'll probably be the next big crowdfund I do. And I'm still working on Cerberus 2. It'll be done early next year. Grand Prix 3 early next year. Hotel Story 2 early next year. But those will all be like in order. So one of those will get pushed back to summer. I'm not sure what order I'll do the crowdfunds in. But so still got a lot of stuff coming up, but I'm kind of just with nose to the grindstone right now. And yeah. So buy my books on eBay.
All
yeah.
right. Yeah, know that feeling. Nose to grindstone. I think a lot of people are doing that, but y'all are gonna get some awesome campaigns later towards the end of the year and early next year. So, especially coming from Narwhal, everyone go check out eBay store. Thank you for the links, my wonderful mods, and last but definitely not least, our impromptu guest, Michael
There it
Bancroft,
is.
Lucent.
I've been doing a lot of updates to the website, sort of bring it back to becoming a web store again. So the bundles are all gone. It's a web store now, proper. You know, if you want books, you can put them in your cart and stuff like that. I'll be adding PayPal once fulfillment is done. And, you know, when I had PayPal on the site the last time, that was the only option that most people used, funnily enough. I'm not sure why that is, but it is what it is. I've also added reviews back onto the site. So I had to take them off for the campaign because they were sort of, you can't really decide where they go. So if you hit go to campaign there, if you scroll down and hit go to campaign, you'll see, and you scroll down, you'll see there's actually a place where people can do reviews on the site, just like in a normal web store. So that's pretty cool. I've already got, I think I've got 30 on the first book. So I'll be sending out an email to people in probably about, I don't know, a couple of weeks, a month, to see if they want to leave a review on the site. A lot of people are getting their shipping notices, which is brilliant. A lot of people are getting their book, even in the States. So that's fun.
Mine's on its way. I'm excited.
Yes, I just sent yours yesterday, and I sent Jake's a while ago. Phill, I sent yours, didn't I?
Yes.
And I think I sent Narwhal's as well. So
I
everyone
didn't get
here,
mine
thank you for
first.
packing.
Hey. Yeah, I got a notification.
Yummy.
Excellent. Excellent.
All right. And you can still get your Lucent books right here.
You can get the
Lucent
soft
Comic
covers. You can get, there's about, I've put them up as like 40 hardcovers left. I think that's about as many as I got overprinted. I wasn't able to overprint that many, but yeah. Hopefully when people see them out there and see how brilliant they are, they might say, you know what, I'm gonna splash out. I'm gonna splurge a little bit and grab a hardcover.
Yeah,
And
hashtag get hard.
Exactly. Go big, go hard. And then get the t-shirt.
Yes, also the t-shirt. You heard it here. Go big, go hard. Back Lucent or Bye the Lucent. Yay! Thank you. All right, y'all ready for this meme?
Oh,
Let's
yes,
do it.
the meme.
We have a meme.
My Lucent package cleared customs yesterday. Nice.
Bancroft.
What is happening? Wait, okay, we're
There's Joseph Mangala
in an arena.
in the right corner.
yeah, Nelson Mangala. That's his real name. Not everything's my fault. Stop blaming me. I just want to read that. So we're a Trojan bunny. That's tying into mythology. Very nice. Where should we start? Oh, Ogden not showing up, but still made it into the show. All right.
Well, first of all,
he is
he's
there in
broken
the
with
corner.
he's broken with the tradition of doing a square meme. Is this the first long meme?
I think so.
What is
Why
the meaning of
the
this?
different format?
It's either a
There
double
must
meme
be
or
hidden
half a
reason.
meme.
Yeah.
There's Pinocchio. Who's the guy behind Gandalf? Is that like Luke Skywalker? Or something?
It's anime Luke
That
Skywalker
looks like
Yeah.
with a white
Oh, there's
saber.
Big Chungus. This is the second meme that Big Chungus has been in. I'm pretty sure.
This looks like the.
I guess Big Chungus is a
Oh yes, he's
staple.
the dominant meme.
Like there's Pinocchio. It's like anime Pinocchio too. That's actually kind of cute. That's adorable. Why anime versions of everything? Because this is Weeb Thursday?
Yeah, yeah. It was declared. Jake declared it Weeb Thursday.
Because
All
I
right,
abandoned
I'm okay
Weeb
with that.
Thursday because I didn't have anything weebish to talk about.
Yeah,
We
Oh,
needed
there's
the
always something
Matt's on
weeby to talk
pass.
about here.
yeah. I did talk about. Yeah, we talked about a lot of Weeb stuff.
Oh my god, Spy Family didn't make it into the meme.
Or Trigun.
Oh,
My God,
disappointment. But
I'm
it's.
glad Pinocchio's there.
I am so grateful for the meme that we get. All right.
Is that a Bionicle with multiple arms?
Yeah, it's
That's
like a
me, I
fictional
think.
Bionicle.
Oh,
So badass.
It looks like a
Doubles the
Spawn Bionicle.
Yeah, it does. You're right.
Dude, oh my gosh.
back on the menu, boys.
I'm resisting
Oh,
mentioning sexy
Alex
Bionicles.
Please continue to resist.
Carry on. Man, there's some new ones on Google Images. Hey!
Goodness.
okay. Anyways, who is this? Who
That's
reads this?
my quote, I think. We all got to make our characters related. We got to put some Shakespeare in that bitch.
I agree. Shakespeare.
Cool. No, it wasn't the Jonah Brothers. I thoroughly regret all of this. That sounds about right. That sounds like something I'd say every single show.
Hey, Jonas Brothers got some bangers. You know what I'm saying?
Name one.
Sucker. It's a newer song. It's called Sucker.
Never heard of it.
Good. What's that one
He
from
says no
Disney Channel
berserk.
days?
I'm shocked too.
Yeah, stuck in my head forever now.
Yeah, we can move on now. Bancroft, do you want to read your line? Do us the honors.
What about taking that man on his wedding night? In a biblical sense.
Yep.
I didn't mean to switch that.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't mean to switch that. I didn't mean to. You make it auto add them.
God.
I thoroughly
Dang
regret
it.
giving you
Jake.
any type of control. Control rescinded. Oh my god. Someday he just
No,
gotta
that
be
robot ass.
I was getting something ready. Preparing.
Oh my
Robo
god.
ass.
Then turn your screen share off.
Wow. Busted.
My channel is if
Look at
my
this.
channel gets destroyed.
There's a new meta. They've discovered a new piece. This round piece. Carry on.
Phil.
Where am I? No. I already read mine, right? Is that me? Oh. I thought I was the orc.
No.
Right. Escapism is like masturbation. Mythology is like your tantric 6-hour session with your true love. See, that's what I said. That's the exact quote.
Well done. And Jake.
Everybody likes
who's an
both.
orange wizard.
You're backed up with microplastics? Just go knit out.
Well done.
Yeah.
Woo! Thank you for
Right
the
next
link.
to-
Oh, wait. There's another. It's a European carryall. Gandalf. Yeah,
Oh,
exact Gandalf.
And
quote.
Jake's line is directed at Big Chungus, which is funny.
Yeah, he's full of microplastics. He just
poor
needs to
Big
go.
Chungus.
That's why he's so swollen.
Nelson Mangala.
Mangala. Mangala.
All right.
Manga Thursday.
Mangala.
You know,
Thank
one
you
of the
for the meme,
Mandela,
Alex.
one of the Mandela effects is they switched melanin and melatonin. They switched the definition.
Yeah, 'cause melatonin was what makes people's skin darker.
Have you seen all the videos of the people showing off their VHS of Shazam? And then they're showing that clip that they made to make it look like it was an actual movie.
No, that's the trailer. They found it a few years ago.
Well,
Oh, so
I've
it's
read
real?
that's like, I think, something that they made recently
Oh.
because of all the stuff. And that people are just making the things. I got no idea. I don't remember it at all. If it
remember
existed,
that,
it wasn't distributed here.
Yeah.
I remember.
So, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah, the Shazam. Now, what if that's like we are bringing forth that universe here by creating those videotapes and trailers and stuff?
Yeah.
We're
you
pulling
can
the other universe.
you can purposefully trigger the Mangala effect
Yeah.
by using chaos magic. I'm all for
It's
it.
chaos magic, and then someone from that universe has to come in here and reverse it and stop it, so the multiverse doesn't collapse on itself.
Hi,
What
Jonathan.
we talked about last week.
Yeah. What's the name of the actor who's played it? He had a funny name.
Sinbad.
Yeah, Sinbad.
Sinbad. Yeah.
It's a really funny name.
Hilarious.
His name
The
is
next
Sinbad.
thing-
He's so funny.
The next thing will be like Sinbad never even existed. And we'll be like
The sailor?
"What?" Yeah, the actor who was in Shazam.
Isn't Sinbad the name of one of those like machetes from the Middle East?
No, Sinbad is a sailor.
Oh,
He's also a mythical figure that was written
Yeah, the-
about in the Arabian.
merge.
There's this Arabian sailor.
Yeah,
the dimensional merge is
Right.
taking place.
he fought Popeye in that one episode
Yes.
of Popeye.
This is our own Mandela effect from the show. Jake, what were you gonna do? Or you still have your metal robot ass pulled up? What are you going to do?
I mean, already. There's some new images coming up in the world of Bionicles. So we got this one. You know, we've seen them before. They seem to have had this matter of this new round piece, which I'm sure is like some kind of face.
Love it.
And we look out on this one. I'll switch over to this one. Got some
Oh.
feet over here with some scary claws. You know, this is
I'm
the
into it.
fear. This is instant fear, but you know, you're enticed. It's the I can fix her feet. As you scroll up, you got some thighs going on this one. They had to add this piece on to give the coverage to the thigh. And look,
Oh, all right. I'm into it.
you're right all the way. She's even got the cat ears going on. She has 2 heads for breasts. Literally, her boobs are as big as her head. There we go. Let's go.
Phil's a tin man.
Is that a
Of course.
Bionicle?
Yeah,
It is very indeed a Bionicle.
Bubonicle.
A Bubonicle! Of course, we have the classics.
Oh my god.
Back to the classic here with Ethan with appendage in the mouth. And another, I think these are helmets, headpieces being used on this ass. But yeah, it's a wonderful time to be a Bionicle fan. And every time you look at one of the demons in Fiendish, just think of Bionicles. That's where it all came from.
But if anybody wants to send me more alcohol, my PO box is in the description. I'll be needing more of it.
Listen, there's nothing channel destroying about these plastic pieces just happening
I
to
didn't
look.
say that. I didn't say that. You can enjoy whatever you want.
I think Bionicles came out
Well, you're
after
not.
I was a kid. I think
Yeah,
so. I have no connection to these things.
they're cool. They had
Wouldn't it be
they-
funny? Someone did an OnlyFans of Bionicles.
Someone should commission you to draw a sexy Bionicle.
Hey, I'd kill it.
You probably would. It'd be great.
I
You'd be able to
would.
make everything. You'd be able to make everything look
I'm good
super
at
shiny.
robots. Yeah, I love drawing sci-fi. I actually can draw things other than fantasy. I'd fucking kill it.
Okay, coming soon, guys. Sexy bionic.
Yeah, sexy bionic.
But yeah, that is all. Thank you for indulging. I'm sure everyone in the chat was really happy about it.
Yep. I mean, chat did seem to be enjoying it. Thank you for joining us, Angela. I think this is about it. I'm pretty tired, so I'm gonna wrap it up. So.
Thank you for the meme, Alex.
Rule
It was great.
34, it's already out there. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm sure it already is. There probably is already Robot OnlyFans. Yes, thank you again for the meme. And thank you, chat, for being here with us and for supporting us. We've had over 50 viewers for the majority of the stream, and it is quite late right now, so I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you, Bancroft, for hopping in at the last minute and contributing to awesome discussion. Really appreciate it. Helping us fill our guest spot today. And of course, thank you to the panel. You guys are cool and awesome, and we always put on a great show. So
next week.
Yeah.
Who's next week?
Him.
It's
Narwhal.
me. Yeah. And then Phill, if you want to try and get special guest Adam Lawson, we could pivot to your channel, and or he could come on my channel too. But I don't know.
Oh yeah, well, I'll have to hit him up. I'll ask. But because we're launching the day after, so Friday we would launch our book.
Yeah, maybe he wouldn't even mind or wouldn't want to then, because it's not like it's live yet.
Yeah, maybe when it's my turn again. But next week, you got it. You have a topic idea yet?
Actually, yeah. I can't remember there's a friend's name that I can't remember his name right now. He always talks to me about writing stuff in DMs, and he
great friend.
Don't say you can't remember his name, because if he's watching and he knows who you guys talk about,
but he wouldn't know it's him.
I already ruined
his name.
Anyway, I want to invite him on to talk story. I'll almost let him guest host potentially.
Yourself.
I've got this friend who's gonna do it for me. Whatever.
I'll introduce him like, here's this guy.
This random guy is a new pair, the unnamed entity. All right, cool. Well, next week, Creative Vlog will be on Pear's channel. We have no idea what's going to happen. We're just going to stay tuned. Anybody else streaming this week?
yes, tomorrow, Diaz Brothers show. We're gonna have a cool show. I got some sketch cards I'm going to show off that will be sold on the campaign. So we're going to do the normal traditional Zaid Comics campaign, where every week we have new sketch cards from amazing artists for you guys. So be there to see that. And we're also going to have a guest. I think Edwin's coming on tomorrow night. And then we're going to be raiding into Michael Bancroft's show, if he has one.
I do.
I
And
love that guy.
launching Mythicals 3 with Hojo.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
So be there.
Friday night launch. That's good.
Yep.
Got a good lineup for you.
Booyah. All right. Stay tuned for those. Check out the Diaz Bros and also Bancroft's launch tomorrow. And I will see you next week for another Wednesday show. I'll be doing a promo show. And I'll see you then. Thanks for joining, everybody. Have a good night. Bye.
See ya.
Have a bye.
See ya.